is probably very familiar to some of the fans out there. He's a guy that maybe not necessarily known for scoring goals, but he's a guy that is known to drop the mitts, and he played 160 games for the Edmonton Oilers in the NHL, racked up about 400 penalty minutes, and I don't know how many of those, we won't see him getting actually any penalty minutes today because it's all penalty shots. I don't think we'll see him out here dropping the gloves either, though I wouldn't hate it. You probably wouldn't hate it. I don't think the fans would hate it either, so if he does, I don't know if we'll see it happen, but he's a guy that I think can really spark this league. And I think another guy that really jumps out to me is Charlie Stevens, a guy that plays for the London Threes. Combined with Theo Peckham, these guys have over 500 games of AHL experience. So these are two guys that more than capable out there. And Charlie Stevens, a guy that you see him skating around there more, same as Theo Peckham, a couple big guys. But Charlie Stevens, a very tall guy. You see him getting up and down the ice. You can easily see him going goal line to goal line. And that long stick, I think that's something that's going to come in to play here in this 3-on-3 hockey, because one of the things that everyone wants to talk about is all this open ice. But when you're playing defense, I think that's something that taking away those passing lanes, taking away that time and space is something that will come in handy a lot for this team. This is a guy, though, that averaged about a point a game in his major junior career. So about 300 games, if you can put up those kind of numbers, that's something that's worth talking about.
Now, you mentioned it, this is going to be an adjustment for a lot of these teams because it isn't regular hockey, it's 3-on-3 hockey. So as the day progresses, what do you think some of the strategies will be for some of these teams?
Well, I think we'll even see the teams that aren't playing in the first couple of games out here watching, just getting a feel for it. And, you know, I think we're going to be harping on that all day long is this first day today, this first event, I think you're going to see teams feeling it out. And it's a game that it's going to have to be played. You're always going to want to keep a guy high. You don't want to get caught. I think a lot of the goals are going to be scored in transition because if you go down 2-on-1 the other way, you don't score. Well, guess what? There's a 2-on-1 going back the other way. Maybe your goalie bails you out, but I think it's going to be a game of transition. It's going to be up and down. It's going to be quick. So, like you said, though, strategy-wise, I don't know. I don't really think there's going to be that much 3-on-3 played in the zones and see goals scored that way. I think it's going to be a lot of up and down transition goals. But like I said, we're going to be feeling it out too. So we'll see what happens out here. We'll see what the guys do. But I think the main thing I think you'll see the teams harp on is trying to keep a guy high. Yeah. Keep a guy high. Don't leave your goalie completely out to dry, even though I think these guys know going in that if you've got a big ego and you're a goalie in this league, you might want to check it at the door because you're probably going to get scored on a lot. So.
Yeah, well, some of the rules conducive to that, it's run time, and there is no penalties, penalty shots.
Yeah.
No offside, no icing, so it's going to be a fast-paced game, and it's going to be interesting to see how some of these guys, the more experienced players, like a Stevens or Peckham, lead their teams because they're the guys out there who are vocal and how quickly they pick up on some of the strategy.
Yeah, and I think even for those guys, it's going to be an adjustment because, you know, a guy like Theo Peckham maybe made his money going out and grinding in the corners. I don't know how much of that's going to be going on out here. You're going to have to play a bit of a finesse game. And I think one thing you talk about, even the penalty shots, it's not like you see in the NHL, you know, where you see guys come in and slam on the brakes or take their time going in because we have live chasers.
Yeah.
So, and if you don't score, the puck's live. So I think that's something that will be interesting. You got to come in. And there's a lot of smaller guys out here playing in this league, so I think that's something that you'll see. There's going to be lots of speed to burn out there. So if you can't keep up, you're going to get left behind.
No, yeah, there's definitely going to be an element of speed. It's going to be interesting to see with a guy like Theo Peckham, who is bigger, if he can maybe use his size to an advantage in a format that really rewards speed and skill. Now, looking at predictions for the tournament, we mentioned the Guelph Brewers. Do you think it's their tournament to lose today?
Oh, absolutely. I think just because of the experience. I think we'll see how the rosters fit together and whatnot as the day goes along. But right now, I think you have to say it's them. I think you have to think they're the favorite going into this just because of all the experience and all the talent and all the points these guys have put up over the course of their careers. So we'll see. But I'm excited to see these guys go at it and get up and down because, like we talked about in the format, we haven't really mentioned it yet, but the cash on the line every game. Well, it's not necessarily cash. I don't know if they're going to roll out a wheelbarrow of cash, but I think we should maybe mention that. That'd be a good idea. But I think it's going to be a high compete level. If you have guys in a single elimination bracket format with cash on the line, I don't see why you wouldn't be going out and giving all you got.
Yeah, well, coming up after the break, we're going to have the opening ceremonies followed by puck drop. Don't go anywhere.
Representing the captain of the Wingboard of the London Threes, Charlie Stevens. From the Hartford Millionaires, Nate Donaldson. Inbox transfer. From Milton Flyers, Kristen Fairbairn. The captain of the Oshawa Indians, Mitch Scott. From the New Market Saints, Chris McKinnon. And ladies and gentlemen, the captain of your hometown Toronto East, make some noise for Brandon Turner! So make sure you engage us on social at CreateHL, Twitter, and Facebook. We'll have more information about those giveaways in a bit. But right now, we'd like the captains to come on over for a ceremonial face-off. The Bantam Ladies playing 3-on-3 style. It is Friday Wagon Hockey. You are in for a treat. We'll explain some of the rules as things go on. Make sure you also check out our website, creationtour.com. You can full listing. Buckle your seatbelts, fans, because you are in for a treat. The 3HL, the New Era Hockey starts now.
Justin?
First game, which will take place right now. Markham Millionaires, first team on the ice. Let's take a look now at their roster. They are led by captain Nate Donaldson. He is the captain of the team. And yeah, then they have Randy Cox, Dave LeBlanc, Blake Lavelle, Danny McEachran, Andrew Bonello, Ryan Halbich, and Darren Rothen in goal. Bonello, guy to watch out for, right, Ian?
Absolutely, a guy with lots of D1 experience. Danny McEachran's another guy, too. I'd be kind of cheating myself, you know, if I didn't mention him, a fellow Brock Badger. But I think Bonello's a guy that you really want to watch with all that D1 experience. Played some pro in France. So like we said, there's different guys that bring a different makeup to every single one of these teams, and I think he's a guy to watch out for on this club for sure.
They also have the nicest jerseys in the league, in my opinion.
Oh, you know, you could debate the jerseys in this league all day, but I definitely think they're an early favorite for that title. Another thing we should mention about that team is they're kind of, throughout their team, a lot of guys that have scored a lot in Tier 2 Junior A. So maybe some smaller players, some guys that can fly up and down, but definitely some talent. A lot of guys that averaged at least a point a game in Tier 2 Junior A.
Now let's take a look now at their opponents, the Milton Flyers. Tristan Fairbairn, the captain. Kevin Wilner, Carson Devine, Jesse Messier, Pat Peretta, Daniel Spivak, Jordan Forfar, and in goal, Dave Davenport. And Dave Davenport is a big name for this team.
Yeah, and I think that we talked about goalies, maybe not going to be the biggest part of this league, maybe not the biggest story, but I think Dave Davenport's definitely a guy worthy of some mention because played at least 3 years in the QMJHL with the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles. He's a guy that had a lot of success over there, had a goals against average through the better part of 3 seasons of about 3. So, you know, that doesn't seem like a great number, but in major junior hockey, having a goals against around that number is actually not too bad. So that's a guy I think will definitely play a big role for his team.
Well, he'll definitely be getting a workout today with 3-on-3. We'll take you now down to the ice and get you ready for the game. Puck drop just moments away. Welcome back to the Mattamy Athletic Center. We are moments away from the first ever game in the 3HL history between the Milton Flyers and the Markham Millionaires. Dalton Finkbeiner here with Ian Duffy, Pat Gregoire in between the benches. Goaltender for the Milton Flyers, Dave Davenport. We talked about him in the pregame. Ian, very impressive resume.
Yeah, absolutely. A guy that, we talk about all the experience. I don't necessarily know that some of the goalies in this league have quite that level of experience, but this is a guy that's played in big games in the QMJHL, so I expect big things from him. But one thing that we could talk about with these goalies is that this isn't the same as playing in a normal game. It's not the same as playing in 5-on-5. It's probably going to be a breakaway factory all day today. And, you're not getting the same help. You're not getting shots forced from the same angles. And like I said, you're just not getting much help, period. So we'll see how this goes for these guys. It could be a long day. Like I said earlier, got to check your ego at the door if you're a goalie, because you're going to get scored on today. You get scored on, forget about it, move on to the next one.
Daryl Rotham in net for the Millionaires, sporting the Dominic Hasek-style mask.
Yeah, that is unreal.
Always great to see guys like that. So here we go, the first ever game in the history of the 3HL between the Markham Millionaires and the Milton Flyers. And we're off. Flyers control. Messier. Down into the corner. Flyers working a big possession. Tighter right off the hop than I would have expected. Shot. Rotham with the save. Millionaires control. Donaldson feeling it back to Bello. Spoke about him in the pregame.
So one thing that we should talk about too is that, you can really stretch out the ice in this format because there is no icing, no offside. We just want to keep the flow of the game moving. So I think that's something that you got to watch for as we move on here.
Millionaires with the puck. Shot, goal! And the first goal in the history of the 3HL.
Belongs to the Markham Millionaires.
Quick transition. And here we see the play here, Ian.
Just comes down the wing, steps in, doesn't really get any pressure, and just fires a snapper right over the shoulder of Davenport. See, I think even as a goalie in this league, I don't think you'd necessarily be expecting guys to just come in and shoot.
Yeah.
I think you'd probably be expecting a lot of just tap-in kind of opportunities, guys looking for the perfect shot.
Rotham controls the puck. Early on, seeing the goalies playing the puck quite a bit. Fairbarn in. 3-on-1 for the Flyers. What a save by Daryl Rotham. Quickly out to play it.
Unorthodox helmet, unorthodox style.
Yeah, what
I love
a
it.
glove save, flashing the leather there. Fairbarn controls the puck, springs, breakaway, partial break. Rotham active very early. Bonello to Donaldson. Donaldson in, fires a shot. That's turned away by Davenport.
I tell you, we're only 2 minutes in, but I could see Rotham being very popular in this league.
Yeah, very active in the net. Comes out to play quite a bit.
And now he has no stick.
Spivak on the boards. LeBlanc guarding him. Flyers. LeBlanc steals it. Flyers back the other way. Messier and fires one wide. Rotham without a stick still. Another stick on the ice.
Rotham's got his back now.
Davenport to Spivak. Millionaires come away with it. McEachran across. McEachran sails. All the way down the ice here. Oh. Forbar just misses that hit. Forbar gets it back, waits, and misses the open net. Rotham.
He had him at his mercy there.
Rotham all over the place. Dominic Hasek-style mask, as you said, Ian, playing exactly like the Dominator right now.
Did he get a piece of him there to knock that?
I might have been, yeah. And another, no piece of him. Rotham there. Early on, only one goal so far, 4 minutes in. Markham Millionaires and the Milton Flyers in the first game ever in the 3HL. Bonello back with it. Bonello, 35 games played in France, also played D1 for Robert Morris. Turnover there, though. Beretta tries to get it across.
We talked about, offensively, trying to have one guy high always so you don't get caught too badly. But I wonder if we'll start to see maybe some teams start just leaving a guy way at the other end and cherry picking, if you will, but just to try and get those breakaways.
Yeah, it seems right now a lot of man-on-man style defense. Wilner fires across. Rotham, another save there. Sprawling over the ice. Spivak across. Spivak now with it back. Fires in the corner. Turnover there. Rotham wires it around. Bonello corrals the puck and leads the Millionaires up the ice. Donaldson now with the puck. Bonello back with it. Waits. Down low to LeBlanc. Donaldson fires in front for LeBlanc. Davenport there with the save. And back come the Milton Flyers. Messier. Fire. Nice toe drag. What a play there by Vanilla. Now 2-on-1 for the Millionaires. See if they can add to their lead. Fires another. Davenport with a save. Early on, the Millionaires seem to have found some early chemistry.
You can definitely tell, though, early on, and I think you're going to see it from all 4 of the first games. Teams just feeling this game out. I don't think they're really 100% sure of what they want to do. I'm sure they had somewhat of a game plan coming in, but it's a little different when you get out there on the ice.
Jesse Messier controlling it. Messier played in the ECHL. Cross. Messier can't corral that pass. Tristan Fairbarn, the captain of this Milton Flyers team. Shot fired just wide there, and first body check of the day delivered by the Millionaires. Rotham out and takes out the knees of Tristan Fairbarn. No call there. Rotham incredibly active early on. Millionaires changing it up. McEachran tips the past the blue line. Now Peretta fires just wide of the net. Early on, Markham showing some great defense. The star, obviously, Rotham. Another save there, LeBlanc. Watched there by Wilner. LeBlanc now out with Donaldson. He drives to the net. Donaldson, Flyers can't get it there. A lot of feeling out early on, Ian, as you said. These teams kind of trying to figure out a strategy. Peretta now in. Shot blocked there by Donaldson.
You can see, too, a lot of it. I don't know if actually you maybe can see it on the monitor, but from here we can see it and you can hear the guys. Just like in a normal game, there's a lot of communication that goes on, especially with only 3 of you being on the ice. You got to all be on the same page, otherwise you're going to give up a wide open chance.
Donaldson now. Wait, Bonello calling for it. Tied up at the boards.
And I think something, too, that, you're almost going to have to, just through repetition, get it out of your system. But the guys are so used to having those blue lines that it's just something that, by habit, you don't want to go ahead of the guy with the puck. So I think that as they get used to this and forget that those blue lines are even there, I think you'll see guys flying all over the place out there.
Flyers controlling it. Fired in front. No one there to jam it home. McEachran now 2-on-1 for the Millionaires. McEachran dishes. Nice little move. Davenport there with the nice save. Both goalies busy early on. Now breakaway the other way for the Flyers. And another stop there by Rothen. Fairbarn in.
Oh.
Fairbarn into the open net. Ref waves it off though, no goal. Some confusion here.
This is, again, new rules. You got to kind of feel it out.
Rothen got taken out there, so the goal did not count. And as you can see, it's a play that's Fairbar getting a piece of him, unable to get back to the net to save that puck. So
I think he obstructed him. He didn't really give him a chance because he was on top of him. But I think you're going to see that with Rothen, that, you know, when you're out there playing the puck like that,
yeah, you're going to get
being very adventurous. You know, you live by the sword, die by the sword kind of thing.
Far across. Spivak with the shot turned away by Rothen.
I know we still got half the game to go, but I'm starting to think. So you got that $2 grand on the
here
line.
we go. LeBlanc breakaway. Nice little move, and it dribbles through the 5-hole of Davenport. Not exactly what he had planned, but they all count the same.
But you don't think that's just the way he drew it up?
No, I don't think so. But what nice stretch that pass there by Bonello. It just loses the handle.
Davenport just couldn't get anything on it.
Didn't know where it was. The Millionaires now up 2-0, halfway through this first game of the 3HL's New Year's Day Classic.
And the smile on LeBlanc's face says it all as he skates away.
Yeah, I don't know if he might have planned to go 5-hole, but maybe not that way.
No, definitely not like that.
Bonello controls it. Got LeBlanc down low.
But I was going to say, does Rothen walk in the room after if it stays like this and say, hey, do I get more than... I want to see how these guys are cutting up the money.
Yeah, I guess, maybe by performance.
Yeah.
Flyers control it. Willer. Shot there. Rothen, another save. Delbich with it.
Under halfway now, I think you got to see the urgency kind of start to...
Markham Millionaires.
Got to start to pick up for Milton.
Delbich. And it trickles in. The Millionaires with their second goal in a row that just gets past the goal line. Here we can see it here.
Just see the cross-ice feed, and it just trickles through just between the blocker and the body of Davenport. And like I said, you know, you can have all the experience in the world in major junior hockey and all that, but we don't know necessarily how it's going to translate out here.
And a quick goal there from the Milton Flyers. Tristan Fairbarn, the captain of the team, wires one home.
And that was a quick answer, and I think that's more of what we expected coming into this game, that it would just be back and forth, goals, goals, goals. So we'll see if the guys are starting to get a little bit more comfortable here. But as you see now, a 2-goal deficit, 8.5 to go. Do they maybe start to leave a bit of a cherry picker, as we talked about?
Yeah, we'll have to see if the Flyers adjust their style, needing 2 goals to continue on here. Although in this format, goals can come very, very, very quickly. Fairbarn across to Forfar. Waiting for it. Spivak now back with it for the Flyers. Spivak with a nice little move. 3-on-2. Spivak keeps. Rothen did not know where that one was going. Just got his glove on it. Bonello now controlling it for the Markham Millionaires. Bonello wires one all the way down the ice. Davenport out to play it.
So in theory, if you're winning, you can just ice it every time.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if that.
I don't know if that's unsportsmanlike, or
I don't think these guys are going to do that, but maybe you'll see that if it comes to a final. But
I think if they do that, I think you'll see the hitting start to pick up.
Yeah, I agree. LeBlanc now down behind the net, waiting for his team to complete a change. All the way down to the other end of the ice to Captain Nate Donaldson. McEachran now 2-on-1. LeBlanc now in. Just fires it wide.
He had a little bit more mustard on that than the last one. A little bit more.
Willer controls it for the Flyers. Curls around the net. Fairbarn goes to the net. Rothen with another save there. Hit in the corner. Flyers still control the puck. Forfar in. So that's Peretta.
Markham's doing a pretty good job of getting all their guys back every time. You're not really seeing them get caught in too many odd man situations.
Yeah, the Millionaires.
It's not easy to do in 3-on-3.
Yeah, their D's been pretty tight so far. Just 1 goal allowed. 6 minutes to go here in the first game. Devine now with a breakaway.
I jinxed it.
Devine in. Makes a move
nice
and
move.
Goal. What a move by Divine. Rothen knocks off the net, doesn't matter. The goal will count, and it's a 1-goal deficit. Nice move here from Divine.
Yeah, Divine comes in, you see the little hesitation. And actually, Rothen did a good job taking away the bottom of the net. He got his pad spread there, but he just found the seam.
Divine,
We got a 1-goal game.
former OJHL player, played for the Newmarket Hurricanes, Stouffville Spirit, and the Toronto Junior Canadiens. So now it's a 1-goal hockey game, just under 6 minutes to go. LeBlanc calling for it. Pass just out of his reach, and the Flyers now retain possession. Divine with the puck. Curls. Forfar in now for the Flyers. Forfar wires one. Rothen covers it up.
Are you allowed to call guys in the show, Jay, suitcases? I don't think you can, because I feel like every guy plays for at least maybe 3 teams.
Yeah, junior hockey, constant turnstile. Bonello now with it. Dumps it down. Donaldson just out of the reach. Davenport now with the puck. Spivak.
See, they're getting a little conservative here. 5 minutes left. Making sure they always have 2 guys back.
Donaldson now across to McEachran. McEachran in alone. Wires one just wide. And yes, as you can see, it seems like Markham is making sure they have at least a guy back. But now an errant shot, and Messier controls it. Slap shot just wide. Slap shot contest going on here in the last minute or so.
I meant to mention that earlier, is that I think if you notice watching the NHL 3-on-3 product, that's one of the biggest things in 3-on-3 hockey is if you go down and miss the net, it's going right the other way because it always just rings the boards and pops back out. So that's something that if you're going to come in and start taking slap shots like that, you got to at least try and put it on net.
Beretta spins and shoots, and goal there for Jesse Messier, and it's 3-3. So after being down 3-0, the Flyers fight back, and here's another look at that goal from Jesse Messier.
Nice feed. It's a little spinorama, finishes that off. And I think if Rothen makes that save, he takes the whole 2K if they win.
Yeah, that would have been some kind of save. Messier, former player of the Sudbury Whirls and the St. Mike Majors in the OHL, put up 125 points during his OHL career. So now tied at 3 with 3:33 left in the the game. Halebich now in, and he scores. So the Millionaires come right back and grab the lead. Breakdown there from the Milton Flyers, and Davenport just couldn't get that one.
And in a tie game, I know it's still 3-on-3. You don't really want to let guys get behind you, but he makes no mistake coming in all alone. No one even really close.
The second of the game.
And we talk about this is run time, so anytime there's a goal here, you got to kind of. It does slow down for the last.
Yes. Last minute.
It will stop in the last minute, but for now, you can't really take your time after these goals. And the refs know that too, so they're getting up to center pretty quick.
Bonello back with it. Donaldson now. Millionaires seem content just to hold the puck. LeBlanc now away with it. He has a goal in this game. Nice little move there. Poke shot away though. Forfar in, 2-on-1. Beretta, but Rothen there with the save. Somehow keeps that out of the crease. Bonello behind with it.
He hates the 2-pad stack, eh?
Yeah.
Hates it.
Seems to be his
It's working. It's his bread and butter. And you can hear him yelling at his guys to get back.
Forfar across, and goal!
He should have yelled a little louder because they still got a chance. I believe we're tied at 4s.
Forfar here. Makes no mistake on the 2-on-1. So now it's 4-4 with 1:45 left. And the Flyers now have possession. Turnover there, Halebich with it.
And you could see Milton gambled a little bit there, and it might pay off.
Willer with the shot, fires right off the iron. What a shot there from Kevin Willer, inches away from giving his team the lead.
And he gambled. He hung out down here that whole time. You know, they in a tie game, they left it 3-on-2, and it almost paid off for them.
McEachran with it. Just 1 minute to go. Millionaires with it.
Oh.
Just wide there. McEachran races to it. Across. Millionaires break in. Just over, out of the reach of Davenport. Now Spivak with the puck. 38 seconds left on the clock. 4-4 game.
You do hold for the last possession here like basketball?
Might see that. Forfar with it. Fires it in. Bonello now with it. 20 seconds left. One last chance for the Millionaires to get the winning goal. LeBlanc now fires it up the ice, just out of the reach of Donaldson. 8 seconds left on the clock. Bonello. One last chance to give his team the win. And it's poked away. So in the first game in 3HL history, we are going to overtime. 10 minutes sudden death. So Ian, so far, what are your observations from the first game in the 3HL?
I think we kind of knew it was going to happen, but that first 10 minutes or so was both teams, I think, just kind of feeling each other out a little bit, feeling out the style of the game, not really sure what the other team was going to throw at them, but you could tell that last 10 minutes, I think they kind of got used to it a little bit, started to figure out the little quirks of the game. You saw guys hanging back high, teams, you know, taking some chances, just playing 3-on-2 on defense, knowing if we get the puck, we're having a breakaway the other way. So I think you're starting to see these two teams, took about half the game, but they're getting a little bit more comfortable. And you saw the quick answers.
Definitely picked up in the second half. And right off the bat.
And both you and me were both extremely wrong on our predicted goal total of this game.
Yeah, no, we had it more at 10-12. Davenport can't get a glove on that one. Scramble in front. Flyers keep it out, though. And Spivak now has the puck. Bringing it up slowly. Might be going for a change. He is now 2-on-1 for the Flyers.
Oh.
Just inches away. Peretta could not get a stick on it. McEachran now ahead for the Millionaires. Dumps it in. LeBlanc going to get to that puck.
That was a good job of just using all that open space there. Just fired into the corner. You know your guy's going to get there first.
Especially with the no offside.
Yeah.
He had a head start there. Donaldson now with it. Mishandles
here
it
we
a
go.
bit. And here we go. 2-on-1 for the Milton Flyers. Just wide there. Willer going to pick it up. Willer now all the way back to his end. Curls at the blue line, blows the tire. Keeps possession, though. Willer to Tristan Fairbarn, the captain. Fairbarn wires one, but cannot beat Rothen. Bonello now with it. Down to Donaldson. Chips it ahead. Giveaway there at the blue line, and the Flyers control it. Messier now, he has a goal in this game. Comes in. Shot tipped by a Millionaires player. Willer now into the corner.
I should mention we've had a penalty-free game.
We have,
We
yet
haven't
so
seen
far.
one yet.
Spivak, fake shot, nice little move, blows the tire.
And I don't think now's the time to have one unless it's pretty drastic.
Millionaires ahead. Shot fired. Davenport, puck's loose. Scramble in front. Millionaires can't jam it home. Spivak now controls it as the Flyers make a change. Peretta with it. Devine now. Devine curls around the net. Finds Peretta. Peretta, and he scores! And there it is. The Milton Flyers win the first game in 3HL history. After being down 3-0, they come back to win it in overtime.
It really felt like Markham had that game too, but all it did was just slide in the back door, and Rothen can't get across. Though we should mention, Daryl Rothen played quite the game. Quite the game. He really kept them in it for a while. Some huge highlight reel saves. I think it's even fair to say he was electric.
Yeah, no, early on he was definitely his style as well with the Dominic Hasek style mask. Definitely something to watch. The Flyers get the first win. So Ian, now that we've seen the first game in 3HL history, what are some of your takeaways in terms of what style of play these teams are going to play?
Well, I think, like I said, I think you're going to see a lot of teams just take some chances in the fact that you can risk playing 3-on-2 in your own end. Take the chance that if the other team does turn the puck over, your goalie makes a save, you have the guy just hanging out at the other team's blue line, you get a breakaway the other way. It's just a risk versus reward. So we'll see if the other teams start to employ that after kind of watching the first game, because the other teams were out here watching. So we'll see if they make those adjustments going forward into these other first round of games. But you also saw how big of a difference the goaltending can be.
Yes.
And I think hopefully we have some Daryl Rothen saves here in the highlights.
The goalies were very active early on. Markham.
Just a quick snapper. I think that caught the goalie by surprise a little bit.
Markham went up early. Rothen was electric
but
early on.
To me, that Rothen saves the play of the game. That was electric. In a losing effort, albeit. And then a bit of a changeup.
Yeah, no, they're for sure a changeup. What we saw early on, the Millionaires were tight, and then as the game got on, they kind of loosened up a bit, and that's allowed the Flyers to get back in the game.
Absolutely. And you saw Milton actually really changed up their strategy. They started to have the guys hanging out, and they almost got forced into it because they were down by a couple goals, so they had to start having guys hang out, and this was just a really nice play. Good vision, nice little spinorama.
Davenport for the Flyers did get the win, had a bit of a rough time on a couple of those breakaways, some bad luck, but we did see the goaltending play a big part because both goalies were very active playing the puck.
Yeah, and I think that's something that will obviously continue as we go on here. I think you'll see the goalies out, and they can be a part of the offense because you can come out, play the puck, quick start, fire it up to the far blue line, spring guys for some breakaways. So I think we'll see that as we get set for the Newmarket Saints and the Guelph Brewers here.
So the Milton Flyers are $2,000 richer after their win over the Markham Millionaires. Next up, we have the Newmarket Saints taking on the Guelph Brewers, followed by the London Threes, Toronto Bees, and the Kitchener Lions against the Oshawa 88s. Dalton Finkbeiner here with Ian Duffy, Pat Gregoire in between the benches. So next up, Ian, we have one of our players to watch, Theo Peckham. What do you expect from the former Edmonton Oiler?
To be quite honest, I'm not really sure. I think he's going to go out there. Obviously, you don't get to the NHL without having a lot of skill. He's a guy that still has put up some points over the course of his career, mostly known for fighting. But we talk about that all the time. Guys get to the show, and then they have to fight to fill a role. But here we go with the Newmarket Saints.
Yeah, we got the Newmarket Saints here. Chris McKinnon, Adam Davies, Nick Hovassin, PJ Buys, Mike LaPrance, Kevin Jarman, Justin Basso, and Jimmy Sargent in net for the Saints. And now their opponents are the Guelph Brewers. And the Brewers are led by Matt Kennedy, Brett Mackey, Chris Chappell, and there he is, the player to watch, Theo Peckham, Shea Kerwin, Anthony Tapper, Miles McLean, and Jace Snyderman in net.
So you don't necessarily want to overlook this Newmarket team because they obviously have their share of experience as well, but you have to come into this game thinking the Guelph Brewers are the favorite because of all that experience.
Well, let's go down to the second game of the 3HL New Year's Day Classic between the Guelph Brewers and the Newmarket Saints. And here we go. So the second game of the tournament, the first game saw the Milton Flyers beat the Markham Millionaires in overtime. And we'll see what the favorite Guelph Brewers can do here. McKinnon with it for the Saints. Fired across, great save there. Nice stretch pass there. Theo Peckham still not on yet. The former Edmonton Oiler, and here he is. Peckham didn't wear a visor, I don't think, in his playing days, but he has one on now. Saints control it. Buys now with it. Buys, holds. Cross to Jarman. Jarman wires one. Basso there to control it. Basso down low. Jarman in front. Basso waits. And
Nice
what
save.
a stop there. Peckham with the stretch pass. McLean can't control it. Weird play there. Seemed like he didn't know if he was off. It seemed like he was hesitant that he was offside.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think it's something that these guys are just going to have to get used to through repetition. No matter how much you tell yourself that the blue line's not there, you've played your whole life with it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I think, going to be an adjustment. Theo Peckham there with a nice hit. Chappell with it now, 2-on-1. Chappell holds, and fires it. Can't get it, can't get the rebound as well. And the Saints control it. Both teams similar in the first game. Ian, seems like both teams just feeling each other out right now.
Yeah, I think we're going to continue to see that all day, at least for this first round. I think once the second game, teams will come out with a bit more of a game plan. But for now, you're just trying to feel out that space and see what the other team's going to throw at you.
Here we go, Tapper with it. Tapper turns it over. Brewer's still with it though. Mackey driving to the net. Brett Mackey with it now. Across to Anthony Tapper. Matt Kennedy, former Waterloo Warrior. Tapper now wires one, just wide. Kennedy pushed over there by Buys. Tapper and Kennedy, 2-on-1 here for the Brewers. Kennedy keeps, fires, and scores! Matt Kennedy with the first goal for the Guelph Brewers.
I think he's a guy that we, haven't necessarily talked about as much heading into this because of all the other names on this team. But Matt Kennedy has his own share of AHL experience. So this team, like I said, I think that's why they are the favorites, because they have so much talent top to bottom. There isn't too many holes in this team at all. And the scariest part about them is that Brett McLean's also on this team, and he's not here this weekend, but he will be here in the future. A very talented scorer with NHL experience. So that's just another weapon for this Guelph team. Big save.
Save there. The Saints haven't had too much offense for them. But as you said, the Brewers are the favorite, but you can't overlook, especially in this format. Saints control it. Tries to jam it there. Jarman now with it behind the net. Theo Peckham roughing him up there. So we have seen the former Edmonton Oiler throw his body around in the early going. Peckham to McLean. Basso now. Basso, breakdown.
Nice save.
Nice save there from Snyderman. Brewers lead here 5 minutes into the second game of the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. First game went to overtime with the Milton Flyers coming away with the win.
After trailing for most of the game.
Yes. Kennedy trying to get across. He does to Tapper. Tapper fires a sharp angle shot. Kennedy turned around at the blue line. Saints come away with it. McKinnon dumps it. And a save there from the Brewers. We see it again here, the goalies. Strong in the early going. Mackey now 2-on-1. Mackey, slap shot right off the bar. Brett Mackey with a absolute laser, inches away from giving Guelph a 2-0 lead. Now here we go, Daniels in and scores! Nice play there from the Saints, number 11.
And this Newmarket team is basically a Newmarket Hurricanes alumni team. But there's not much you can do about that as a goalie. If it goes off the bar and in, your chances are pretty slim. But this Newmarket team, I think a lot of these guys have played together before. And you look at Davies, a guy that played at Adrian College. You don't want to shortchange these other guys, you know? Because we talk about this Guelph team a lot and how talented they are, but some of these other guys have some experience in their own right.
So now we have a 1-1 hockey game. Turnover, Saints control it, fired in front. But now we have Kennedy's gonna get a breakaway, 2-on-1 here for the Brewers. Kennedy holds and tries to sneak it 5-hole. Can't get it to go. Controls it, fires it in front, turnover there.
That's twice now, though, we've seen a break started by Snyderman just firing the puck up the ice.
McKinnon, sharp angle shot. Davies now with it. Davies passes across. McKinnon buys
Nice
with
shot.
the goal. Nice play there by the Newmarket Saints, and now they have the lead on the favorite Guelph Brewers.
That was just some good passing. Tic-tac-toe, back of the net, and another shot off the pipe and in.
Jarman now breaks in, another chance for the Saints. Tapper now controls it for the Brewers. Anthony Tapper, former player with the Waterloo Warriors, 59 points in his CIS career. Davies now with it. Davies can't get it to go. Now it's a 2-on-1. Tapper trying to get it across to Mackey. Nice play there, though, by Davies.
I think that's something that we also mentioned before is that you think 3-on-3 hockey, you think maybe a lot of small, quick guys out there. But there is a lot of tall guys out here on the ice. And on that last possession, you saw it come into play. The guys that have the long stick, the length, to get in those passing lanes and disrupt things is a big, big help with all this open ice.
Theo Peckham springs Kennedy. Kennedy, nice little move there. In tight, Kennedy. Nice stop there.
And you got to give Jimmy Sargent credit. He's been real solid in this game so far to keep it at 2-1.
Sargent has been good. Peckham now fires one in, a soft one. Kennedy can't get a stick on it. Tapper now through the legs, turnover. And 2-on-1 for the Saints. Basso waiting for a pass. Nice stop there by Snyderman. And again, like the first game, Ian, low scoring through the first 10 minutes. We'll see if it keeps and opens up like it did in the first game.
Yeah, we saw the second half of that first game. Things started to open up a lot, and it started to happen with a goal and then a goal right back the other way, which is what we expected to happen.
Drops for McKinnon. McKinnon across. What a save there by Snyderman. Buys, controls. Back down to the captain, McKinnon. McKinnon curls back. Davies now with it. Davies shot.
Even on that last play there by McKinnon, you can tell there's almost a little bit of hesitation at the line as he rips one.
Nice goal there
Snyderman.
From the captain of the Saints, and now it's a 3-1 game. The favorite Guelph Brewers in trouble. Here we got to look. The captain just
head up.
one.
No one goes to him. Why not have a free look at the net? And he just fires it by Snyderman. And all these shots that have gone in on Snyderman have been right around the bar. So, you know, the guys played well so far in this game, and I don't think you can really discredit it for any of these goals because these guys are just shooting well for Newmarket right now.
Sargent with a nice stop there. And the Saints go back the other way. Brewers, as we said, with one of the most, if not the most impressive roster. Couple former NHLers, a lot of decorated pro players, but in trouble here, down 3-1 to the Saints. McLean.
Is someone wearing Brett McLean's jersey? I don't know if it is him. He's not supposed to be here today, but we'll try and confirm that for you.
Buys with a nice steal, and he's off to the races. Buys gonna get a breakaway. Okay. But a stop there by Snyderman.
Perfect.
To keep it a 3-1 game. Tapper now in for Peckham. Peckham into the chest of Sargent. So the first shot there for former Oiler Theo Peckham. Buys. Been all over the ice. He's back the other way. Can't get it across to Basso in time. McKinnon. Basso all alone in front. Can't get it past Snyderman. 3-1 game. Just over 8 minutes to go in the second matchup of the 3HL's New Year's Day Classic. Peckham with it. Peckham looking for a high stick, not going to get one. And Jarman's going to go the other way for the Saints.
Nice save.
Nice save there. Theo Peckham not happy after he felt he was high stick, but now he gets a breakaway. See if he can make good on it.
Ooh.
Peckham with a beautiful move. The former Edmonton Oiler showing off some finesse.
Those hands are not just for punching people in the face. They are Theo Peckham with a bit of resilience. You know, he thought he got high stick there. He clearly voiced his displeasure. Newmarket goes the other way. Snyderman comes up with a big save, and Peckham gets the puck back. The Crosby leg kick, and then the finish.
Not known for scoring goals during his NHL days, but a nice one there. Cut his team's deficit to 1. McKinnon now with it for the Saints. Nice toe drag. Keeps it. Nice possession there by the Newmarket captain. And goal. So the Saints answer right back.
And I don't know if you notice that at home. You see Newmarket scores and they all skate off hard to the bench because the refs will not wait to drop the puck. They go up when they get there, they blow the whistle and drop the puck. So if you're not there, they're just going to drop it and the other team will get it. So that's why you got to hustle on and off the ice here.
Newmarket has led for most of this game. Guelph, one of the more, out of the 4 teams so far, definitely the most physical, especially with a guy like Theo Peckham in the back end who likes to throw his body around.
Well, I think there can be something to be said for being physical because these guys have small rosters. It is only a 20-minute game, but I feel like with such small rosters, you can wear guys down by being, it's almost annoying when you're out there with all this ice and you're not really expecting to get hit or roughed up too much. It wears on your body.
Peckham turns it over. Nice save there by Sargent. Yet to see a penalty in either game. Peckham may have gotten away with the trip there, and he throws his body into Jarman, and here we go. Now we're going to get our first penalty. Just as I say, we haven't seen any penalties.
And it's against Theo Peckham, not him getting the penalty.
So Brewers with an extra attacker.
Oh, nice
almost
save.
make good on it, but Sargent comes across. Miniature power play here. Kennedy waits and scores.
And that big body of Theo Peckham is out there in front, setting the screen there.
Here we go, seeing that screen. Matt Kennedy with his second of the game.
And you can see right there, there's no way Sargent saw that puck. But a good job by Guelph to capitalize on that 4-on-3 on the delayed penalty.
Chappell controls it for the Brewers, down just 1 now. As we get head into the last 5 minutes of this game.
Even Chris Chappell, who we haven't mentioned, was the captain of the Saginaw Spirit. So it's another guy that is a pretty good hockey player.
Yes, and he's not even, as we said, he's not one of the headlining names,
No.
but a very impressive hockey resume of his own. Saints turn it over. Peckham gonna have to get on it though. Nice little play there, and he keeps it, but turnover. Saints back away, but Peckham.
And Mackey's going to get a chance here.
He's got a partial break back. Mackey with it. Gets it back in front to McLean. McLean with it down there. Mackey now comes back to pick it up. Kennedy now back with it. And the Saints have a 2-on-1. But Snyderman able to
He just hung on to that.
onto that one. 4 minutes left here. Chappell brings it up the ice, or sorry, Kennedy brings it up the ice. Kennedy looking for the hat trick, just misses wide.
I love the fact that both of these games so far have been within 1 or 2 for basically the whole game. And I think that's something that comes along with each game having cash on the line, is that you're not going to see anyone really give up.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see guys be competitive right to the end.
Oh, and here we go. We might have our first penalty interference call going against the Saints.
Goalie interference?
So here we go. The first penalty shot.
I'll get the chasers lined up on the blue line here. So if
Kennedy looking for the hat trick.
Yeah, and if Kennedy doesn't score here, this puck is live, hence the chasers.
Here we go, Kennedy in all alone. And it just squeaks through. Matt Kennedy with the hat trick. I think the refs are going to check if he hit it.
Oh, they're going to allow it. So my guess would be that I think you're allowed to double touch it because it's live the whole time.
He didn't, I don't think he got a stick on it, but you're right, I think.
Unless the only other way it would make sense is if he wasn't allowed to be the first guy to touch it.
Yeah.
After.
But it just squeaks through. So now,
regardless, we're moving on. We're tied.
First game all over again, slow to begin, and now 4-4. Saints with a 2-on-1 buys. Dishes, nice play there by Mackey. Mackey from his knees trying to get it out. Basso now with it for the Saints. So our tournament favorites, the Guelph Brewers, tied here with the Saints. McKinnon, he's already got one. Slap shot, nice save there by Snyderman. McKinnon, deadly with that clapper.
These guys have shown that if you're not going to step out to them, they're just going to step in and take the slap shot.
Chappell finds it in his feet, controls it. Finding Matt Kennedy. Kennedy wires one. Sargent with the save there. Kennedy looking for his 4th of the game. Minute 40 left here, and we could be headed for our 2nd overtime in a row. Tapper now.
2 minutes, a long time in 3-on-3.
Chappell fakes a shot down to Kennedy. Kennedy tips it towards the goal. Can't beat Sargent. Kennedy controls it now, looking for Chappell. Gets it back. Fires it all the way back to the goaltender. Snyderman all the way out to play it. Kennedy with it. Kennedy buys though.
Oh.
Nice play there by Tapper. Another one. So the Brewers D-man keeping it out of his end. Chappell now with it, makes a nice move. Kennedy back with it, 50 seconds left. Tapper with it, into Theo Peckham. Peckham with Chappell, finds Chappell. Chappell in, just fires it wide. Down low, Peckham with it now. Peckham hustling to catch McKinnon. McKinnon, as we've seen, his slap shot, not afraid to take it. Beautiful move, and almost inches away from a highlight reel goal. He's looking for a call. Refs not giving it to him. Peckham with it now. To Tapper. Tapper now with it. One last shot. Peckham trying to get on the rebound. 9 seconds.
Are these refs not calling anything, or is there just
Peckham in. Down low. Inches. 2 games and 2 overtimes. We are headed to the extra frame once again. And Ian, as we've seen the theme with this first tournament, teams a little slow to come out, but once it gets going, second half of the game seems to pick up.
You know what, though? I think there hasn't been as much scoring as we thought, but I think it's still been pretty electric back and forth. You see all these chances. To me, the biggest thing that stands out is the goaltending has been great. And I think that's what has actually kept the scoring down. I don't think it's necessarily been a lack of chances. And you saw these teams come out. I think they adjusted a little quicker than maybe the first 2 teams. They also were the first game. I think there's something to be said about, you know, the first game, the launch. So I think those teams maybe took a little longer to feel it out, but the experience could also be a factor in this one. But bang for your buck here.
Yeah, no, for sure. 2 games, 2 overtimes. The Guelph Brewers, the favorites coming in with a roster of players with impressive hockey resumes, but the Newmarket Saints showing they can hang with anyone. Basso stops, puts on
Nice
the brakes,
save.
and what a save there by Snyderman. Kicks the net off. McLean now with it to Tapper. Tapper made a couple great plays at the end of that game late to keep the Saints from having an odd man rush. Down to Kennedy, who already has a hat trick in this game, looking for one more to give his team the win. He controls it. Back to Tapper. Tapper down to Theo Peckham. Peckham also has a goal. Nice little move there from the former Oilers enforcer. McKinnon with it. We've seen him take numerous slap shots. This time he curls. Trying to pass it across. What a save again by Snyderman. And Chappell now going the other way. 1-on-2, Chappell turns it over. And McKinnon and Davies head the other way for the Saints. McKinnon. Mackey pokes that away. Davies now with it. Davies looking for man on the other side. Mackey now with it. Mackey spin move. Keeps. Can't get it to go. Couple good chances for both teams here in overtime so far. 10-minute sudden death.
And you can see it's only 20-minute games, plus this 10-minute overtime, but because of how small the rosters are, you can see the guys, their legs are starting to go.
Theo Peckham gets it back after turning the puck over. Peckham holds. Just a nice play there by Basso to keep McLean from getting that empty net. Jarman now. Jarman holds. Blocked there by Kennedy. Kennedy doing it all for this team in this one. Kennedy gets a stick on that as well. Saints now. Buys inches away. Buys controls. Buys wires it through traffic. Snyderman covers it up there. McLean across to Tapper. McKinnon, nice little play there. McKinnon holds, puts the brakes on. Finds Davies in the high slot. Davies, nice fake slot shot. 2-on-1. What a play there from McLean. And all the way down to the Newmarket end of the ice. Newmarket has controlled the play here for the last couple minutes. Davies now loads up. Can't get it to go right into the breadbasket of Snyderman. Mackey.
What I want to know is how there's puck marks on both
Another
sides
shot
of this glass.
right into the center.
Oh.
Nice turnover there by Kennedy. Kennedy holds it. Mackey for Chappell, and he scores!
Oh, and an emphatic call from the ref.
And the Brewers, the favorites in this tournament, get a big overtime win.
An overtime thriller, you might say.
They seem happy about it. And here we go.
And you knew this was trouble. And actually, Sargent kind of blew an edge trying to get cross crease there. So I think, you know what, even if he didn't, he would have been a tough time because that puck was put in a tough spot. But you see the emphatic call from the official there. Just a great finish there by the Guelph Brewers. And you could kind of tell, I kind of mentioned it near the back half of that game, that you could tell the guys are starting to lose their legs a little bit. And I think that started to show at the end. And if you can't get off the ice, you kind of get put in a tough spot there and ultimately ends up in their net.
It didn't start out great, but the Guelph Brewers, the favorites in this tournament, as we said early on, come away with the victory. What did you like from their play in this one?
Well, I thought Snyderman was huge. I think that was what ultimately allowed them to win the game. However, I think I would have been saying that either way, because I think if Sargent had got it for his team. And Newmarket, I think you would have said the same thing about him because the goalies were outstanding. So
Theo Peckham, the former Edmonton Oiler, one of our players to watch, he lived up to it in this one. What did you see from his game?
Well, I think that's the thing. Because what we see on the big stage with the Oilers is you see Peckham always fighting and roughing it up. But guys don't get to the NHL without talent. And I think you saw that on a couple plays from Theo Peckham. Some real soft hands, and ultimately got him a goal.
Now we're going to go down to Pat Gregoire, who's standing by with the Guelph Brewers' Chris Chappell.
Thanks, guys. I'm with Chris Chappell, the overtime winning scorer. Chris, we were just talking a little bit there. You guys came out a little bit slow, but were able to come out on top. What'd you guys really figure out there to, start putting the puck in the net?
You know what, Matt Kennedy kind of took over the game there for us, got us back into it. That gave us some life, and we just, battled right to the end.
Now everyone has the Guelph Brewers, pegged as the, the powerhouse in this league, the favorites to win. Does that add a little bit of motivation to you, knowing that, teams are hunting for you guys, and a team like Newmarket there did give you a good run for your money?
I mean, yeah, we kind of got that title out of nowhere. We haven't even won a game. Well, that was our first win. So there's a lot of great teams here. So, I mean, it's competitive every single game, and, having that title definitely, I guess, puts a target on your back.
All right, perfect. We'll send it now back to the guys upstairs.
Thanks, guys. Well, the Guelph Brewers came away with a victory, the favorites in this tournament. And so far through the first two games, Ian, what have you seen from the four teams that have played in terms of style of play?
Well, I think for me, you didn't necessarily see as much in the second game there. You didn't see as much cherry picking or guys hanging back. But you saw the teams make an adjustment in the first game, because at first it was everyone back. We're playing 3-on-3 in the zone. As the game developed, it became more of a, we'll take our chances with a 3-on-2, and then we'll send the puck the other way. The other thing you started to see was the goalies. Right off a save, they get the puck, and they want to fire it up the ice to try and start a break the other way. It almost cost Sargent a couple times because the passes got picked off coming the other way. But I think that's something to watch, and I think that's only going to get better as we get more and more into this season. I think you're going to see the goalies become a big factor on offense. But the goaltending was outstanding. Their main job, keeping the puck out of the net, they did a very good job of that today, especially in that game. I thought the guys were fantastic at both ends of the ice. I think the biggest thing to me is that you heard Chappell say it there. There's a target on the Guelph Brewers.
Yeah.
And it was apparent early in that game because Newmarket came out ready to play. That was obvious from the get-go.
Well, we'll take a look at some highlights from the game when the Guelph Brewers did sneak away with a victory. Here we see Matt Kennedy. He was big in this one, a hat trick for the Brewers.
And Davies with an answer there.
And you saw early on, Ian, the Brewers were a bit cautious out of the gate, but eventually they found their footing.
Well, you see a lot of this is just Newmarket using the time and space coming in and cashing in, but here you see Theo Peckham with the silky smooth hands coming in on the breakaway leg kick and finishes a 5-hole. And then this was a 4-on-3 on a delayed penalty. Kennedy uses Theo Peckham's big body in front, uses the screen, and makes no mistake. And then here on the penalty shot, we're still not sure if he double tapped that. I'm not sure if it's even relevant, but either way, he gets it to go. And then the overtime winner, Chris Chappell with a big one. And Mackey, I think, probably maybe tempted to shoot that on the crease, but he decided to go for the pass, and it paid off.
Yeah, no, I think the Brewers as well. If we take a look here at the bracket, they're going to be taking on the Milton Flyers, who won the first game. And the Brewers, I think, lived up to the billing as the favorite as the game went along. And you could see some of their skill with their top-end guys who do have a lot of, of junior hockey success and a lot of pro hockey experience. And you think as that going forward, that will probably be a big advantage to them.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you saw, that team, like we talked about, Newmarket came out and they were ready to go from the get-go. They kind of jumped all over Guelph, maybe got them on their heels a little bit, but as it got going, Guelph kind of settled in. And we talked about Chappell got the overtime winner, but it was Kennedy that kind of carried those guys through the game, scored some big goals. We'll see if it goes, but they've got 2K, their first 2K of the season in their pockets, so we'll see as they go for the next game. But that team's going to, I think, have a target on their back all season, and it's only going to get bigger when McLean comes back in the lineup.
Well, the Guelph Brewers win the second game of the 3HL's New Year Day Classic. We'll be back with 2 more games after this. Welcome back to the Mattamy Athletic Center, the site of the New Year's Day Classic for the 3HL. 2 games down so far in round 1, the Milton Flyers and the Guelph Brewers victorious. Dalton Finkbeiner here with Ian Duffy, Pat Gregoire ringside. Coming up in our next game, we have the London Threes and the Toronto Bees, and the London Threes feature one of our players to watch, Charlie Stevens.
Sorry about that, that's embarrassing. But yeah, we are back. Charlie Stevens, a guy that we're looking forward to seeing. We talked about him in the preamble for this tournament, sorry. He's a guy that all kinds of AHL experience. So I think that's something that he definitely leads the way for this roster, and you can see him out there on the ice. He's definitely a presence out there. And Dalton, if you want to go through the lineup.
Cam Salt, Patrick Morgan, Lucas Balchetta, Spencer McCormick, AJ Perry, Rich Wigmore in the crease. He's the captain of the London Threes.
But I think Charlie Stevens, as we talked about, he's the guy that you definitely want to look out for on this team. 300 games of AHL experience is not something to take lightly, so we'll see what he has to bring to the table.
Taking a look at the hometown Toronto Bees, Brandon Turner, the captain, Rob Quitt, Scott Howe, Shane Elliott, Anthony Burgeon, Jordan Reed, Adam Place, and David Blair in goal. So the Bees and the Threes looking to continue some exciting hockey we've had here. We've had 2 overtime games in the first 2 games. And Ian, do you think the trend we'll see as teams filling each other out for the first 10 minutes will continue in this one?
Absolutely, though I do think that as you maybe get into this 3rd and 4th first round game, that these guys have been watching. They've been out here in the stands watching the game, so I think maybe they have a little bit more of a feel for it than the first 2 teams who really didn't have much to go off of, but I think it's something that we'll still see. I think one of my favorite parts about these teams, you know, as you talk about a team like Guelph that's just loaded with guys top to bottom, maybe not necessarily as much with these 2 teams, but there's still lots of guys out there with different NCAA experience, guys that maybe are a little bit smaller, but guys that can fly up and down the ice, big shots. So I think that's something that we can expect to see in this game here.
We'll head down to the ice for puck drop as the London Threes and the Toronto Bees get ready to get things going. And there he is, Stevens, Charlie Stevens, one of our players to watch, coming home after playing 10 years in Germany. See what he can do, big body, impressive resume. And here we go in the 3rd game of the 3HL's New Year's Day Classic. We've had 2 great games so far. We'll continue here. Stevens and Morgan, 2-on-1 for the Threes. Morgan fires one in.
Big shoes to fill for these 2 teams after the 2 overtime thrillers to start, and big shoes to fill for these goalies because the goaltending's been outstanding so far today.
Here we go, Stevens just out of his reach.
We got a flood there, so the puck's flying around out there again. It was a little slower in that last game, but
yeah, definitely an advantage playing in the 1st or 3rd game in this one to get with the fresh ice. Bees almost crushes the goalie Wigmore there. Stevens controls it over to Morgan. Threes here, passing it around. Seems once again, team's just trying to feel out.
yeah.
See what's going on. Reed now chips it down, chases it.
I mean, we've said it a bunch of times today, but you can't underestimate the fact that you've played hockey your entire life, built into, you know, the blue lines and all that stuff, and then you just come out here and it's like you're playing on a blank sheet of ice.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a little different. It's more of a pond hockey feel, I guess, than anything. But
Reed wires one just out of the reach of Wigmore. Slap shots. Finding them now. Elliott in. Elliott with the backhand. Wigmore with another fantastic save. Threes goalie on early. Turnover in the neutral zone. Stevens in. Stevens trips his man. No call there. Howe's with it now for the Bees. And now Elliott with his 2nd breakaway of the game. Elliott fires wide once again. Salt there to Stevens. Stevens now carries it up. Big skater. He holds, fires it. Morgan, nice save there though.
good stop by Blair there to get across.
Very nice stop by the Bees keeper. early on seems to be a little more offensive than the first two. And there we have a first goal.
Patty Morgan on the board.
Morgan gets one there for the threes. Breakdown there by the Bees.
That's the thing, especially if you're David Blair in that situation. You got to kind of pick one. You got to pick one or the other. So he has a wide open shot to face, but there's no one covering the back door either. So there's not really much he could do on that one.
Morgan with the first goal for the London Threes. Place now with it. Place fires it over. Wigmore with another great save. He's had 3 already, and we're only 4 minutes into this one.
Credit to Bergin knocking that right out of the air.
And a collision there at center ice. Turnover. Reed in now. Reed battles. Reed fires, and he gets it to go. Nice play there by Reed, and he beats Wigmore for the Bees' first goal.
Jordan Reed just fights off the check there and just gets enough on it. Wigmore, on the other hand, didn't get enough on this, but just kind of just chops little snapper off the shoulder of Wigmore and
Almost batted in another one there, Reed. Reed, a veteran in the OJHL. He had 179 points. Stevens now with a beautiful dish across. What a play there by Stevens. Great pass, and Salt finishes it off.
Stevens has set up a couple really nice cross-ice passes already in this game, and we're just over 4 minutes in.
See here, Stevens.
The vision just gives that look, that hesitation to kind of freeze the goalie, and then fires it across the ice. But we saw him already set up Patty Morgan for a nice one earlier. Blair just made a nice save on it.
So both our players to watch. Theo Peckham had a nice goal, and Stevens early on putting on a show here. Howes now with it. Howes, nice little move. Howes back again. Howes wires one. Wigmore with a nice save. The threes now with it. Salt and Stevens. See if Salt can return the favor. He tries to sneak it away. Blair, though, comes up with it. Stevens now using that 6'4" frame to shield the puck. He's with it. Stevens now. Morgan now. Morgan, no look. Blair just keeps it out. Didn't know if he knew where that was.
I feel like if Charlie Stevens doesn't want you to get the puck, you're going to have a hard time getting it off him with that big body. If he decides he's going to shield it and go to the net, it's going to be tough for anyone to body him off of it. Maybe I can't wait till we see him and Theo Peckham go head-to-head.
Yeah, no.
Could be a nice little battle.
Yeah, two of the more decorated players in this league. And the threes scored their third goal.
They're just getting these tap-in opportunities on the back door off these odd man rushes, and I think this is what we thought we were going to see today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice sauce.
Yeah, beautiful saucer pass there. The threes have definitely come out with a wide open style, finishing off their opportunities. Reed now, who has the Bees goal. Reed fires it there. Nice goal there from Reed. Another slap shot goal. Seems to be happening a lot so far.
Well, I think it's because these guys aren't used to, in a normal game, you come over the blue line, you're going to have a guy in your face usually. But here, there's a lot more time and space. So when you're sitting, around the hash marks or on the dot, and you have all the time in the world to just wind up and let a slap shot go, why not, right?
Stevens with a beautiful spin move keeps the puck 3-on-1 now for the threes. And almost finished off a beautiful passing play. The threes.
A little bit of grittiness in this game as well.
Yeah, it seems a little chippier than the other two. The Brewers were throwing their body around quite a bit in the second game. Broken stick there.
Oh, that's a bad time.
Gets his nice play there by Salt, though, to keep Place from going in. Can't get a stick on it there. And here's another break. Shake. Stops, cannot put it home. And this is a lot more wide open than the first two contests. Threes controlling it. And now we have another breakaway here for the Bees. Can't get it to go.
I think there's something to be said about the fact that these two teams got to sit and watch and kind of feel it out, maybe talk to each other, say, hey, maybe we should try this, give this a look.
Balesha can't jam that home. Blair with the nice save.
Because you're seeing as the day has gone on, teams starting to hang a guy high and try to just, you know, take a chance 3-on-2 and try to get that breakaway.
Reed now with it, has both goals for the Bees. Morgan brings it up for the threes. Hip check missed there by Turner. Morgan now with it, tries to sneak it past Blair. Can't get it to go.
And most of these teams, too, on the ice, they're going to have probably usually 2 guys that are forwards and 1 guy that's D. So a lot of times it's a forward getting caught back on defense, and in those one-on-one situations.
And Reed again, almost with a hat trick here in the first period.
Just lets a clapper go from the bottom of the circle, finds iron.
You mentioned something earlier, Ian. With so much space, the man doesn't come up. They have a lot of time, so
yeah. If you don't
slap shot might work.
Yeah, if you don't put pressure on guys, they're just going to shoot the puck. And it's tough for guys that are this good, and this is from the goalie's perspective. If you give a guy that much time and space from that distance to just let a full slap shot go, it's tough for the goalies to pick up.
Stevens now controls it, finds Morgan. Ref blows it dead, net knocked off by Stevens.
And one thing, London only has 2 lines, 2 even lines. Most teams go with 7 just to have that extra sub. We'll see if that's a factor as the day goes on.
Yeah, if they get into the later rounds, maybe the fatigue might catch up with them. But for right now, they do have the lead 3-2 over the Toronto Bees. Threes in again. Blair with a nice stop. And after a flurry of goals, both goalies have seemed to settle down.
Yeah, I think there's a comfort level for them as well. You kind of have to understand that you can't come out and challenge as much maybe as you would in a normal game because there's always guys flying in behind. And if you leave too much, they're just going to fire it across the ice and bang it in. So it's an adjustment process for everyone playing in this style of hockey.
Threes player there with the block. Reed now fakes the slap shot. Baleshta comes up to close out the gap there. Bees work it back to Blair. Blair, brutal giveaway to Salt. Salt makes no mistake, and the threes have a 4-2 lead. Bad giveaway there by Blair.
Well, you saw Jordan Reed put some trust in his goalie. I think that's something that we'll see as the season goes on. But Blair just fans on it. He didn't get all of it. Costly turnover, and then Salt makes him pay for it. And I'm sure David Blair feels pretty bad about that one.
Nice passing there by the three. Stevens almost scores his first. This line of Stevens, Morgan, and Salt, very effective early on for the threes. Salt played in the Southern Pro League. 44 points with Louisiana and Mississippi. Morgan plays it back. Stevens just bounces over his stick. Salt down low alone. Finds Morgan.
If you, as a goalie in this league, if you can bring that asset to your team of being able to play the puck and kind of, kickstart the offense a little bit, it's such added value.
Big hit there from Turner. One of the bigger hits we've seen today. Howe's now. Quit with it. You mentioned this earlier, Ian, definitely a more physical tone to this game than the previous two.
Well, I think it's easy to get out here and get caught up in the kind of pond hockey vibe. You maybe get a little too comfortable and forget that there's some big bodies out here that are looking to catch you in the trolley tracks.
Yeah, Turner made no mistake on that hit. 4-2 here, London Threes in the third game of round one of the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. Milton Flyers and Guelph Brewers both victorious in the first two games. Bees now with it. Quit in alone, working against Stevens. Place and Elliott with them. Place gets it over to Quit. Back to him, just out of his reach. Elliott asking for it.
Good play by Salt there. Just held his ground, didn't go because he would have just left the front of the net wide open.
And we've seen this before. Stevens and Morgan with a 2-on-1. Stevens, nice play, and Morgan with a beautiful finish. These two have some chemistry early. Second time they've hooked up on a 2-on-1.
And Patty Morgan showing some great ability to finish here early in this. And watch Stevens, he does this every time. He's so good at just freezing the goalie up, whether it be with head fakes, looking guys off with no-look passes, but he just does these little subtle hesitation moves that'll throw you off balance.
Bees break in. Wiggum with a nice save. Wigmore, sorry. Stevens now with it back. Stevens just tries to sneak one in through a screen. Turner now with it to Reed. Reed in, looking for the hat trick. Fake slap shot, can't beat Wigmore. Turner now. House tries to throw it in. Stevens there with the block.
Oh, here we go. Oh, Stevens.
Stevens too tired, couldn't go.
Yeah, that's what that two lines will do to you.
5-2 here for the Threes. And they come back the other way. Valeshta just out of his reach, almost making it 6 there. He's got it again off the post. Early on, Threes definitely controlled the play early and have kept that going for most of the game.
And that's the thing, when you do get up in this kind of situation, if you're London, you can just space the ice.
Blair now out to play it, getting it to Quit. Howes finds Place. 1-on-2 Place. Loses the handle on it. Valeshta playing it down there. Nice little move. Place trying to get back to it. Threes, though, in the midst of a change.
I think this is the biggest deficit we've seen today. We haven't seen anyone get down by 3 goals yet, have we?
In the first game, the Millionaires were up 3 goals. Flyers came back. Not this late, though. Wigmore with a nice glove there. And Stevens all the way down to Salt. Salt in all alone. Puts the brakes on, and a nice backhand finish. What a move there from Salt. And this line of Morgan, Salt, and Stevens has been very, very impressive.
Yeah, they've gelled together quickly. And it's just too much time. And I think if you're the Bees, that's something you obviously going forward. If you're not able to pull this game out, you got to clean up a little bit because they've just given up too many good chances. I understand it's 3-on-3, but you still got to help your goalie out a little bit.
A lot of 2-on-1. Stevens now, and again, this line, Salt puts it in. And this one getting out of hand quickly. So we talked about Stevens in the pregame, but the London Threes putting the rest of the league on notice.
Yeah.
With their performance here.
They're just very calm with the puck. I think that's something that's obviously come with the early chemistry that they've developed here, but their puck possession's been great. They don't turn it over, and they're getting like easy goals. I think that's the most impressive part. You're not seeing slap shots or too much of that out of them. They're getting tap-in goals right on the crease.
Stevens has definitely lived up to the billing as one of the players to watch. Seems like he's on the...
I think that's what I said. It comes with the experience. Because you see when he gets the puck, all the head fakes and just the patience with it to wait till the last second, right till the goalie or the defenseman freezes, and then he's just going to find the open guy.
Threes looking to add to their lead. Just wide there. Reed been the only one for the Bees to get things going. He has both their goals. Stevens with it now. And they have another 2-on-1. Stevens. And what a shot from Charlie Stevens.
Eventually you knew he was going to keep one for himself.
After passing the last 3 off,
Yeah.
he finally keeps it, and what a goal from Charlie Stevens. So after 2 overtime games, we have ourselves a lopsided one as the threes are putting it on the Bees right now, 8-2. Charlie Stevens, one of our players to watch earlier, very impressive. And the threes look sure to move on to the next round.
Well, you can see why he averaged a point a game in major junior hockey, because his talent and just presence with the puck is something else.
Stevens did play for the Colorado Avalanche in the NHL as well. Veteran of the AHL, and then spent the last 10 years in Germany, where he played in almost 500 games and racked up 320 points.
I mean, obviously people understand how hard it is to make it to that level of hockey, to make the NHL.
Morgan with it. And there again, another goal from this line. And Morgan has another one, and they're just putting it on the Bees now. 9-2, 4 to the threes.
I think the Bees owe David Blair a couple soda pops after this one, because he has been just getting shelled this entire game with top-notch scoring opportunities at that. But I think what I was going to say earlier about Charlie Stevens is that people understand, obviously, how hard it is to make it to the NHL level. But you can see when you come out here, a guy of his size, with his skill, that he's only able to put together, a handful of games in the NHL, a lot in the AHL. But just to show you that a guy like him is that good, at that size, is not able to stick at the NHL level, it just shows you how difficult it is.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Stevens, very talented here today, but as you said, NHL, obviously a tough league to make.
Yeah.
So clock winding down here, the threes are going to move on to the next round, easily defeating the Bees 9-2. Very impressive performance from the threes here. And they have maybe, taken over as the favorites after this performance from the Guelph Brewers.
Well, I think that's one of the things we've kind of alluded to this entire day, is that, you can have, it kind of sounds hypocritical after just going on about Charlie Stevens, but you can have all the experience in all those other pro leagues and all that other stuff that we mentioned. But ultimately, the 3HL is its own brand of hockey. And this is a different, you don't want to say it's a different sport, but there's different elements to this that certain guys will succeed in this that couldn't succeed at a high level the highest level in 5-on-5, whether it be any kind of pro hockey, East Coast League, SPHL, whatever it may be. But there's certain elements to people's games that'll make them very successful in this brand of hockey, and I think you're kind of seeing that here on display. Guys that have soft hands, guys that can skate, guys that are smart with the puck. Obviously, those are all things that you want in other hockey too, but they really shine through in this with all this open space and all the freedom. The creativity will really shine through out here because, like we said, there's not as much puck pressure.
No, and as you said, with a guy like Charlie Stevens, having him in the lineup makes so much easier for everyone around him. Him, Patty Morgan, and Cam Salt were very, very impressive.
Oh, and I think because we keep talking about, how the guys are feeling it out and, it's going to be an adjustment as the game goes on. Those guys came out with basically instant chemistry, and I think that gave them a big advantage off the jump. And the quicker they're able to gel, the more cash they're going to get because it's $2,000 under their belt so far to start. But there's plenty more to come, I think, for the London Threes, and I think they've kind of put maybe a target on their back. We talked about the Guelph Brewers having the target. Maybe it's the London Threes now.
Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the Threes. A 9-2 win over the Toronto Bees. And it started off very early with the line of Cam Salt, Patty Morgan, and Charlie Stevens.
And Morgan just finishes that off. And Jordan Reed with a bit of an answer here, quick, fires one over the shoulder of Wigmore. But honestly, this was what it was. This entire 20 minutes was just tic-tac-toe plays from the London Threes, finding the back of the net. David Blair obviously wants this one back, a turnover. He's trying to make a play to kind of spark the offense. Fans on the puck, and it ends up in the back of the net. But you could watch this Charlie Stevens reel all day because he's just coming in on two-on-ones and seemingly always making the right decision. But just one more spot to secure here in the second round.
Yeah, so the London Threes are moving on, and they will take on the winner of our last round 1 game, the Kitchener Lions and the Oshawa 88s. So after watching that, with 2 more teams left to go, we saw that game open up a little bit. Do you think that having watched 3 games, these guys might be a little more open rather than conservative like the first 2 matchups?
I think we will see that. I think teams are starting to figure out that maybe the strategy element of it a little bit more. You can kind of spread the ice, having guys hang out at the far blue line, etc. So we'll see as it goes. The goalies started to get in on the offense, and the goaltending has been electric so far.
Let's take a look now at the Kitchener Lions roster. Lions here, Matt Crane, Mitchell Cook, Brian Grant, Matt Beaton, Kyle Rank, Tyler Ryan, Shane Gore, Matt Camilleri, and the 88s, Matt Kennedy, Brett Mackey. And here we go. For the last game of round 1, the Kitchener Lions and the 88s of Oshawa. Lions in the gray, 88s in the white. Ryan bringing it in for the Lions. Nice move there. Ryan fires one on. And now we have a breakaway. Post. Scott cannot get a stick on the rebound. In first couple seconds of this game. Opened up, Boyle with it, high shot. Lions able to keep that one out. Ryan sends an alley-oop pass to Rank. Rank wearing number 99. Gets it back to Gent. Gent fires it. Nice save though. Bit of a snow shower. 88's in. Rebound, can't get it. Gent now coming the other way. Gent all alone. Gent wires one and a goal! Gent with the slap shot. And early on, we've seen a lot of slap shot goals. Beautiful play there. So early on, the Kitchener Lions take a 1-0 lead. Fielding in now. Fires it over to Leah. Scholing. Scholing in. Lions goalkeeper scoops that up. Plays it out to Ryan. Ryan across to Gore. Gore runs over his man. Takes the worst of that.
He's not back yet.
Fielding loads up, wires one wide. Scott grabs it, fires it in the corner. Scholing there to grab it. Scott unable to finish off that pass from Scholing.
And even this game's been pretty wide open to start.
Yeah, a lot more wide open than the first 2. It seems that, as you said, Ian, these guys watching the first 2 games get a feel for the style of play. And there, the 88's first goal. Scholing scores, finishes off the nice 2-on-1.
And this is a pretty move by Melanson. Comes in, kind of gives the fake, makes the goalie think he's going glove side and just fires across ice.
(1-1) here. Last game of round 1 of the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. One more spot left. Rank. Rank wearing, as I said, 99. He's not retired, I guess, in this league.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to hear a couple chirps for that.
Turnover there. 88's in. Nice save there. Leah can't clear it. Gent grabs it. Goal scorer for the Lions. Gent moves in. Fires a saucer pass. Knocked down by Leah. Fielding all alone in the Lions' end with the puck behind the net, waiting for 88's teammates. Scholing loads up, wires one. Cook grabs it and clears it out. Fielding can't get it through. Cook, Gent, Scott on him. Lions moving the puck. Knocked down there by Scott. Scott
Rank, something like that.
hesitated there on the clapper.
You can tell these guys are loving the freedom of having the ability to just wire these slap shots.
Fielding controls it. Fielding gives a nice little shot there. Crane, though, gets it. Plays it back. Fielding gets hit in the hand. Ref calls a hand pass. So it seems, Ian, that after the first two games, these teams have kind of figured out the way they're going to play, and they're opening it up a little more early on.
Absolutely. I think you're starting to see teams maybe use the whole ice a little bit more than the beginning. We're seeing a lot of 3-on-3 in zone play, whereas more you're now seeing a lot of just odd man situations and teams using that full ice to their advantage, because it is such an adjustment to come in when you're used to playing, cliche 5-on-5 hockey where you come in, get the puck in deep and kind of go from there and cycle it, whereas now you want puck possession the entire time.
Boyle almost turned that one over.
And because the game moves so quick here that you can afford to take some chances because you're probably going to get one yourself.
Another thing we've seen a lot of slap shot goals, a lot of space. These guys are not afraid to let it fly. Boyle controls it for the 88s, gets it over to Leah. Leah, pass intercepted there by Ryan. Ryan just hammers it all the way down the ice. Going for a change. Rank on it now. Gent gets it for the Lions. Gent plays it down to Rank. Rank can't handle it. Lions control it now. Cook with it. Batted out of the air.
Dalton, would you say it's fair to say coming into this that Kitchener may be a bit of an underdog coming into this, or maybe viewed that way anyways?
Yeah, I don't think they have some of the big type names that we saw in some of the other games, but as Chappell said in his interview with Pat, very competitive league, and you can't really underestimate anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the thing. There's all these guys played junior hockey in some form or another. So your baseline of talent is obviously going to be pretty decent. And then when you add in all this open space, and it is little things. Obviously the game has changed over the years, but little things like, a guy doesn't make it because he's not big enough. That doesn't really apply here. So you see guys that have maybe talent or speed that don't really get a chance to play at a certain level. Otherwise, you get more opportunity here as we see a breakaway coming this way.
Fielding with it, partial break. Rank cutting it off. Rank gives him a shot there at the end. So after the teams traded goals early on, slowed down here, 1-1 in the last round one game of the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. Milton Flyers, Guelph Brewers, and London Threes already into the next round. One more spot left.
It's even interesting to see that the way Oshawa has kind of configured their lines, that they seem to have kind of the small guys together and then the bigger guys together.
88's now threatening. Nice poke check there from Camilleri. Gore battling for it. Camilleri with it now behind the net.
Oh, good.
Makes a nice little move. Gets it to Ryan. Crane now with it.
And I couldn't tell if he was adjusting his blocker or he gave Boyle the "hey, how are you" on the way by, but that was some good patience with the puck there from, you don't usually see that from the tenders of the Twine.
No, we've seen a lot of the goalies playing the puck, being quite aggressive and being part of the offense. And now here we have a breakaway. Ryan on the break. And he scores. Nice finish there from Ryan. And the Lions have a 2-1 lead.
That was a good back check attempt by Scott there, though. Just couldn't quite catch him, but Ryan just comes in, goes shelf. McDonald maybe got a little bit deep in his net there, a little too quick, but with all the moves we've seen out here today, it's kind of easy to get lost out here as a goalie a little bit, but a nice shot by Ryan.
Rank now brings it in. Nice no-look pass. Lions can't bang it home, though. Cook all alone in front, had 3 whacks at it. Couldn't beat McDonald. 88's now with it. And a beautiful goal there from Haworko.
I think the most shocking part of Rank rocking 9s is that he did play in the AHL. But that's just a pretty finish. Soft hands there.
Haworko, nice piece there. Now Rank's got it back. Looking for another quick answer. McDonald, though, handles that. 88's bring it up. Scholing with it. Fielding coming in. Fielding grabs it. Fielding. Great save there from Camilleri. Fielding gets it back. Plays it all the way back to Scholing, who's outside the blue line. He steps into one. Lions get it back behind their net. Cook, turnover. Scholing has Boyle with him. Boyle gets it. Boyle tries to chip it, but nice stop there from Camilleri. Crane with it. Crane clears it down. Gore now handling it. Gore gets it over to Ryan. Ryan whacks one.
We also need to shout out Mike McDonald for the little Felix Potvin tribute mask.
Yes, fitting in the old site of Maple Leaf Gardens.
Yep.
To wear a Potvin style mask. Haworko with it. Haworko tries to sneak one short side. Ryan looking for Gent, both of them the goal scorers for the Lions. Gent gets it back to Ryan. Ryan in the slot, wires one. Nice save there by McDonald to keep it 2-2.
Tried to go blocker side that time, trying to mix it up a little bit.
Beaton, nice pass to Gent. Gent tries to squeeze it 5-hole. Ref blows it dead, net off.
And that's another perfect example of the difference in 3-on-3 hockey. You see Beaton feed that pass through. If you're theoretically, most of these teams, you assume they're playing some sort of just man-on-man defense, basically. Just kind of stick with your guy loosely. If you kind of get caught with your head turned and your guy just slides in behind you, in 5-on-5, usually he'll just get caught up in some kind of traffic or something. But in this, because it's so wide open, if you get caught flat-footed and your guy goes behind you, he's just all alone. And you saw that there, Beaton tried to take advantage of that.
88's with it now. And they got a break. Scott with it. Scott pump fakes and he scores. The 88's now with a 1-goal lead. Scott finishes off on the breakaway.
Scott comes in, almost lost the handle on it, but gets the puck to settle. And that almost worked as a little hesitation move, and then he beats Camilleri to the blocker side.
Mitch Scott, the captain of the 88s. Played at York University. Also played in the OHL. Boyle back with it now.
Oh, nice
and what
save.
a save from Camilleri to keep his team in it. Scholing robbed there. Boyle intercepts the pass.
In this format, if you're the goalie, sometimes you just got to bail yourself out.
Oh, and off the bar there. Cook asking the ref it went in. Scholing now the other way. Scholing comes in, drops it for Boyle. Boyle fires it wide.
You think Cook was maybe asking there if it hit the back bar, but I don't think it did. It looked like the front from up here. Obviously, the ref's a lot closer than we are, too.
Rank now plays it. Cook can't get a hold of it. McDonald out to play it. Rank now with it. Rank makes a nice little move, tries to go 5-hole. Great stop there from McDonald. 88's the other way. Rank missing the hit there. And it's played down, all the way back down into the 88 zone. Scott with it. Just saw him finish off a breakaway, give his team the lead. Fielding now, wires one wide. Beaton now controls it for the Lions. Fielding almost intercepted that, but now turned into a 2-on-1 for the Lions. Beaton, big shot, can't get the rebound to go. Rank with the move in the corner. Some pushing and shoving in front of the net. And the 88's away. Scholing with Boyle. Scholing fires one. Great stop by Camilleri. Boyle can't get all of it. Camilleri able to grab it.
It's almost a bit of a knuckleball there.
Yeah, couldn't get all his stick on it. Gent now, nice little move, tries to squeeze it. Lions keep control of it. Ryan hesitates. Great play from Fielding to poke the puck loose. And he clears it down the other end.
And this is, I think, another example, Dalton, of, you know, this game hasn't been as high scoring as some of the others, but this game has been just as wide open, I think, as any of the games we've seen so far today. They just haven't been able to finish necessarily.
Yeah,
the chances have certainly been there.
Definitely feels more.
It doesn't feel like a 3-2 game right now.
Feels way more wide open than the score would indicate. Fielding now 2-on-1 with Hororko. Fielding keeps and just misses there. Ryan and Fielding come together, and he gets it over. Hororko can't control it with his skate. He's waiting for his teammates to complete a change and turns it over. Gent now gets taken out, and there's a penalty. So we're gonna have a penalty shot here for the Lions with a chance to tie the game. Matt Kennedy scored on the first penalty shot, and one of the chasers, Leah's gonna get him. Gent, and he squeaks one by. Wow. Looked like he was gonna get caught by one of the chasers, fights it off and squeaks a goal in to tie the game.
And you could see even the ref shaking his head a little bit. But just so close. He even got a piece of it with his stick on the way back, but a good job by Kitchener to still finish on that play. Did it not look to you like the Oshawa might have left a little bit early?
Yeah, it looked maybe
I think he was gone before he even touched the puck, but
nevertheless, Gent still able to finish it off and get this to be a 3-3 game with just under 3 minutes to go. Rank, great glove there from McDonald. Rank was looking for
that had eyes
top
for
corner.
A second there.
And now Scott almost put on a break. Spin pass there from Camilleri. Scott now off the bar. Scott inches away from giving his team the lead. Too many men. So an error there from the 88s. Too many men on the ice. Scott was coming off for a change.
Let's see how quickly some of the chasers leave here.
Rank now with the chance. Rank
no, not going to catch
on the breakaway. Rank, McDonald able to stay out, keep the puck out, inches away from sliding.
Yeah, I thought he was
all the way
go
into the net
for a second. Yep.
Scholing all alone.
Good effort there.
Camilleri gets it out. Boyle controls it for the 88s. 3-3, just under 2 minutes to go. One spot left in round two. Rank now with the partial break. Makes a nice little move, tries to go 5-0 again. McDonald there to stop it. Boyle gets it to Fielding. Beaton wraps it around the boards to Rank. Makes a nice move at the line. Rank's been on for a while, gonna continue. Cook controls and makes a
nice
pretty move. Tries to center it for Rank, unable to get it through the 88's D. And Cook now makes a nice play and gets the goal. Just over a minute to go, and Cook gives his team the lead. That could put Kitchener into round 2.
I was just about to make a comment about our third overtime, but we're going to need a goal now to see that happen.
So the 88s need a goal here to tie this up, where the Lions are going. Haworko inches away from getting on a breakaway. Leo with it, slaps it down low. Haworko moves it. Rank now ices it. And they play it in, and their 88s have pulled the goalie, so they're going with 4 attackers for the last 30 seconds. Gent goes for the net. Ryan now with it.
Well, you can go for the net every time.
They pulled the goalie.
And a play there by Leah just shoves the net off. Wonder if that's going to be a penalty. No penalty.
That should be a penalty shot, no?
Ref's calling a, 88's calling a timeout here. So weird play there. Christian Leah shoves the net off. No call on the play.
I think I'm just as confused. I'm just as confused as everyone else. To me, this should be a penalty shot.
He just shoves the net off. And Ryan now talking with the ref, trying to get an answer.
Yeah,
Lions very confused as to what's going on.
confusion in the air throughout this whole building right now. It just seems like it would, because why wouldn't you just push it off every time then? It seems like it should be a penalty shot, but I don't know. We'll have to get clarification on that.
No penalty shot, so 88s with 11 seconds left. Lions just gonna hold this puck. And Ryan fires it down. So the Lions are gonna move on to the second round with a 4-3 victory over the Oshawa 88s. Lions, as you said, Ian, maybe don't have some of the big names, but able to come away with their first victory of the season.
And a $2,000 goal from Mitchell Cook.
Yeah, big goal there at the end of the game to get his team into the next round.
Just when we thought we might have another overtime, no dice.
So we have our final 4, the Milton Flyers, the Guelph Brewers, the London Threes, and the Kitchener Lions. Ian, what did you see from this Lions team that you liked?
I think they were aggressive the whole game, and Camilleri played great in net. They created a lot of chances for themselves because Mike McDonald, despite losing, he played very well. He had to make some big saves. So I was impressed by this Kitchener team. They also did a very good job of using this format to their advantage, where they spread the ice, they created a lot of breakaways, they drew some penalties, got a couple penalty shots. So all around, I'd say a good job from the Kitchener Lions. And I think, we've talked about it, but these teams I thought did a good job of kind of learning from watching those earlier games and, learning to spread the ice, maybe have a guy hanging out. But I think the one thing they maybe did best was that they always seemed to have a guy hanging back, playing high, so they didn't give up too many great opportunities the other way.
Now we're going to go down to Pat Gregbar, who's with Kitchener's Brian Gent.
Because you have to keep them so short, because it's 3-on-3, not as many guys out there, not as many guys on the bench?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about it too much, just kind of adjust as we're out there, make sure one guy's always back, not giving up breakaways, odd man rushes, blowing the zone. It's got to get used to no offsides, no icing, stuff like that. So it's a whole new ball game out here.
Now, I'm not sure if you had a chance to watch any of the game before. London coming out with a 9-2 victory. Many see it as an upset. Do you know what you guys are going to have to do to come out with a win and head to the finals?
Score some goals, I guess. I don't know. Go out there, try our best, have some fun, and we'll see what happens.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and good luck in the next round.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll send it back to you guys and tee up the semifinals.
Thanks, Pat. And you just heard Brian Gent there say, you know, there was a feeling out process because this is new to everyone, and we saw that kind of with the first 4 games. A lot of them started a bit slow. Now that these guys have one game under their belt, what do you think we're going to see in this next round of games?
Well, I think Brian even said it. You know, it's not necessarily that they were talking about it as a team saying, oh, we need to do this or we need to do that. But I think it's individually realizing, hey, every time I go and, you know, we have a chance the other way and it doesn't go in, you got to get back because there's only 2 other guys on the ice. So if you don't get back, probably no one is. So it's just a little of individual adjustments, I think, that the guys, you know, have to realize themselves when they get out there. It's kind of a trial by fire thing almost. So I think now these teams all have a game under their belt. I think you'll start to see, what's the word, maybe a little bit more controlled effort from these teams. I think a little bit more strategy involved just in the sense that you kind of adjust it. And on defense, maybe playing a little bit more of a triangle or not chasing guys out as much to leave that open space in front of the net. So it's just little subtle changes that I think we'll see in this next round.
Let's take a look now at some of the highlights from the game that we just saw. The Kitchener Lions defeating the Oshawa 88s to move on to the second round. And Kitchener came out flying.
And there's Mr. Gent right there, and then Melanson comes here with a beautiful feed. Oshawa finishes. And early on, we thought, and Ryan with a nice breakaway goal there, but early on we kind of thought that, you know, maybe this game was pretty high flying, and it was. We thought it would be high scoring, but it didn't exactly work out that way. We saw some real, actually pretty finishes, in fact, in this one. When the guys did get in tight, they had their chances. You saw the puck kind of jump up there on Scott, and that kind of helped him out a little bit, I think. But some big saves. Dalton, I don't think you can say enough about the goaltending today. It's been pretty spot on, better than I expected anyways. But then there's the winner.
So our semifinal matchups are set. The Milton Flyers will take on the Guelph Brewers in the first semifinal, and the London Threes will battle the Kitchener Lions in the second semifinal. Now, looking ahead to the semifinals, who would you say is the favorite going forward?
You want to say London after that impressive, lopsided win, but I still think it's Guelph. I think, you know, until you see someone knock that Guelph team off, I think I'll reserve judgment because not only did their players look impressive, but their goaltending was great too. Snyderman was excellent, and I think if we can continue to see that from him, I think they're going to be a tough team to beat. But also the thing about Guelph is that they're such a talented team, such an experienced team, but they're so big. They have a lot of length, and that's kind of tough to compete with out here because it kind of clamps down on teams a little bit, especially defensively. You saw even Theo Peckham with the soft hands in their first game, so we'll see. But I still think it's Guelph, though I would love to see that Guelph-London matchup.
Coming up, we do have the semifinals, the first one between the Milton Flyers and the Guelph Brewers. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. Welcome back to the Mattamy Athletic Center. We're here with the semifinals of the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. Dalton Finkbeiner here with Ian Duff, Pat Gregoire in between the benches. So in the first semifinal, Ian, we have the Guelph Brewers and the Milton Flyers. The Brewers, the favorite coming in. What do you look for them in this game?
Well, I think Milton, first of all, has had a lot of time off. So I think, Guelph's a little more fresh. I think Guelph coming into this game, I think they're the heavy favorites coming into this, to just be point blank with you. I mean, Milton wasn't that impressive in their first game. They had to make a big comeback just to advance. So we'll see. They've been sitting for a while. They've been watching a lot. And you know what? Maybe we got to give them a bit of some slack because they did come out, have to play that first game, launching the league. I think there's probably a little bit of jitters, a little bit of, you don't really know what to expect. Even the guys that played the second, third, fourth game said that. So if you're the first team, you really had nothing to go off of. You just kind of go out there and feel it out. But if you're this Guelph team now, you've also had a bit of time to do that yourselves. So I think this is a team that also has some pretty high expectations.
And the Brewers do have those big names. Theo Peckham, we saw him in the first game score a gorgeous goal. He was a physical presence on the back end. So the Brewers definitely have more of a physical type approach to their style of play. Flyers, a bit of a everyman type team.
Yeah, and you know what? I think the biggest key for them will be, you saw Davenport in the first game maybe struggle a little bit at points. I think he's going to have to be really solid in this game for them to have a chance because Snyderman was excellent in their first game, and this Guelph team has a lot of firepower on top of that.
So here we go, puck about to drop on the first semifinal. The Guelph Brewers and the Milton Flyers competing for a spot in the final. Flyers, both these teams won in overtime in their first game. Flyers defeating the Markham Millionaires in the first game of the tournament. Brewers edged out the Newmarket Saints. Tapper forces a turnover. Chappell, the OT hero in his team's opening round win, comes in. Chappell, saved there from Davenport. Ian, you mentioned Davenport, one of the more decorated goalies in this league. He'll have to play a big role if they want to get past the Brewers.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to have to be strong in this one because he's going to face a lot of chances. And I think we're going to see this game, be a lot more wide open than we saw those first couple games because now these teams have felt their way through it. And I think they've adjusted, and we're going to see them spread the ice and maybe have a couple cherry pickers out there. So we'll see what these teams do.
Davenport tested early. Beretta circles. Kennedy had a big game for his team in the first round. Hat trick, including the first ever penalty shot goal. Snyderman able to cover that puck up. Mackey now 2-on-1 with Kennedy. Kennedy dishes, no look, Mackey unable to get it, then blows the tire, and the Flyers go the other way. Devine able to get it in his feet, makes a nice move. Oh, inches.
Just couldn't drop it in. Just could.
Inches away, now back the other way. Mackey curls and fires it back to Peckham. Peckham, nice little move at the line. Get it over to Mackey. Peckham winding up for the one-timer, just misses.
And he's hearing it from the Milton bench on his way by.
Mackey now down to Kennedy. Kennedy tries to go short side, unable to hit the net. Flyers control it. Messier drives the net. Willer now with it.
Okay.
Watched by Chappell.
I think another adjustment these two teams can kind of, I guess all the teams can make as they go on throughout the days. I think you kind of realize that you have to be selective in your shifts. Even on a back check example, if you give all your energy going in on a back check, well, you're probably the next shift up because these teams only have 6 and 7 guys. So you've got to kind of pick your spots as far as how hard you go, especially if you're a team that plans on playing the third game in this day. You've got to pick your spots, I think.
Yeah, as we move forward, shift length will definitely become a factor, especially when we reach the finals. Flyers now control it. Nice stop there from Snyderman. Forfar stop there on the break. Chappell now back the other way. He's got Tapper on the far side. Chappell keeps, wires it, And now Forfar with tons of time in all alone and sneaks it in. First goal of the semifinal. Forfar takes advantage of a missed Brewers opportunity.
Just right between the wickets.
Forfar had tons of time after Chappell wired it wide. So the Brewers, like their first game, find themselves behind the 8 ball. Peckham controls it. He showed off some hands in the first game. 2-on-1, Mackey. Kennedy wires it wide right.
Well, now we got to expect a hat trick out of Kennedy every game.
He's definitely not afraid to shoot the puck. Devine turns it over. Peretta goes, and he goes, I think he touches all 3 bars, gets that one to go home. And the Flyers.
And our angle for that did not suck at all.
And the Flyers up 2-0.
Yeah, you got the perfect angle on that shot. You could tell Snyderman was kind of a bit lost coming back across the net. Didn't really get a chance to touch his post before he got set. And I think he was just a bit off his angle, but I don't even think it would have mattered because that was a perfect shot.
And now Messier here. Messier with an open cage, fires it in front. Peckham able to turn it over, but sends it right up the middle. Spivak with it. He drives to the net. Kennedy able to corral that. Peckham gets it to Mackey.
We saw this in Guelph's last game, though. Newmarket came out and kind of jumped all over Guelph because Chappell mentioned it. This team knows they have a bit of a target on their back because of some of the bigger names that they have. These other teams are going to come out ready to play.
Chappell now with it in the slot. Davenport with a nice stop. And changes on both sides. Chappell with it. Chappell goes coast to coast. McLean wires it wide. Tapper now with it. Tapper down to McLean. McLean spins. Davenport able to cover that up. Forfar just misses that stretch pass.
Why don't we have sticks? Fuck, man.
Forfar almost
Those are stupid.
stealing that one from Tapper. Tapper over to McLean. McLean finds Tapper, and he scores. Great shot there from Tapper, and he gets the Brewers on the board in this semifinal.
This might be one that the Milton Flyers want back.
Davenport beats short side. 2-1 game. Kennedy now with it. Kennedy walks in. Kennedy fires it wide.
Well, that shot hit the middle bar, did it not? So if you're the goaltender, I think that's something that you could tell by his reaction too that I think that's something that he probably wants back. But
maybe didn't expect the shot coming from such a sharp angle. Kennedy dances in. Flyers control it, and they're back the other way. Devine winds up. Mackey has Kennedy. Puck stolen off Kennedy. 2-on-1 now. Willer with it. Fans on it. And there, Forfar.
Guelph's in a game here.
Sorry, Jesse Messier finishes off that rebound. And now it's 3-1 for the Flyers.
Good job by Messier to finish off a tough angle there.
Chappell with it. Gets it over to Peckham. Peckham finds McLean. McLean makes a move. Chappell pokes it away. McLean back with it. Chappell circles. Chappell finds McLean. McLean wires one. Davenport with a nice stop. Messier corrals it. So just like their first game, the Guelph Brewers down.
Oh.
Ref says no goal. Tristan Fairbairn looked to have scored. Tapper
Nifty
now.
little move coming back from behind the net like that.
Fairbairn feeds Forfar. Forfar
I don't think it went in though.
didn't look like it from here,
It was
but
close.
inches away,
We can see.
giving Milton.
We might have a replay for you here momentarily, but it looked close. But
Tapper now with it. Tapper trying to get it across to Theo Peckham. Peckham with it down low. Brewers getting a cycle going here. Kennedy with 3 in the first game. Kennedy chips it past. Kennedy looking for the wraparound. Net gets off. And here we're going to have a look here at the no goal. As you can see, puck just on the line. Stick just gets in the way. Flyers definitely thought they had scored, but now 2-on-1. Willer gets it back to Spivak. Spivak to Willer. Willer comes in. What great glove save from Snyderman. And he gets it to Theo Peckham, who's off to the races. Peckham taken down there.
went down hard. I'm not sure if he hit his head off the ice or anything there, but I think he's okay.
Devine finds Willer. Willer just misses. Devine trying to circle it back, and he scores. Devine throws it in front. The Brewers, though, are claiming the net was off. So let's take a look here. It goes under the net, under the back of the net. So let's see what happens here. No goal. So the refs have figured it out that it was slid under the back of the net, and net was popped off.
Well, at least they got it right. I mean, they don't have the luxury of replay that we do.
Here we go. Messier almost gets it right back. Chappell now controls it. 3-1 here. Forfar with it. Forfar waiting for a man, and now we got a 2-on-1 for the Flyers. Forfar trying to find Fairbairn. Kennedy with the turnover. Kennedy 1-on-2. Kennedy, Davenport able to steer that one wide. McLean now. McLean walks in, fakes a slap shot.
Nice save.
Great save by Davenport. Able to get back to his feet. Forfar using one hand on the stick to kick it up to himself. Nice move inside. Forfar unable to get the backhand shot off. And Spivak calls for it all the way back at the Flyers' blue line. Spivak controls. 8.5 minutes left in this first semifinal of the 3HL's New Year's Day Classic. Tapper.
Nice pass.
Peretta. Peretta controls. Toe drag. Unable to get his rebound to go. Tapper. Turnover. Peretta. Another glorious chance there. Peckham shoves him into the boards. Tapper to Chappell. Tapper with the spin move. Controls it on the sideboard. Poked away by Willer. Willer in all alone. Willer almost got to finish off that beautiful play. Inches from the top corner. Devine makes a move.
It's really been Milton that's had most of the good scoring chances. Hence the 3-1 lead, but they've been all over Guelph in this game.
And Devine able to finish that one off. So 4-1, the favorites. The Guelph Brewers in trouble.
They are on the ropes, and you know, Snyderman's done a good job trying to keep his team in it, but there's only so much you can do, and you know, in this league, I think you can make a pretty safe assumption that you're not going to win many games throughout this 3HL tour, only scoring 1 goal. So Guelph needs to find something to spark their offense a little bit here. And this is where I think you can see Theo Peckham hanging out around the far hash marks. You got to start taking some chances now.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Ian, earlier, that when teams get down, they're going to have to start changing their style of play and maybe go, you know, risk it all with 3 guys down low and maybe give up some chances on the back end. McLean.
And we'll see in turn what Milton starts doing. If they just start icing the puck, there's potential for it, but
McLean all the way back in his own end. Kennedy now. Kennedy brings it in. Kennedy with the move at the line. Kennedy can't find Mackey on the far side. Mackey controls it. Kennedy with it now. Kennedy spins. Turnover there. And Messier. Kennedy looks tired, and Messier almost able to sneak that into Snyderman.
And you saw how long Guelph had the puck down there.
Here we go. Tapper almost able to get a stick on that.
But it is hard. It's harder in 3-on-3 hockey to manipulate. I guess it kind of applies to all hockey, but in these offensive sets, if you go down there and try to play even strength, play 3-on-3, it's still tough. Even though there's all the open ice, it's still tough to generate scoring chances. The best chances in this game that we've seen today are the ones that come off transition, when you're able to catch teams with numbers. And if Guelph hasn't really been able to push the tempo because they're trying to change on the way up, so it's tough.
Brewers with just 1 goal in this game. Only 5 minutes left. And as you said, Ian, not going to win many games, no matter how good or bad your goaltending is, if you only score 1 goal. Theo Peckham, he scored in the first game. Maybe he can get on the board. Davenport with the puck, plays it. Peckham almost intercepted it. He would have had a wide open net if he got to that. He drills a Flyers player. Peretta on the receiving end of that Theo Peckham hit. Peckham now in front.
The thing is, we've seen it a few times today now. All Peckham needs to do to knock you down is really push you. He's such a big body, so strong.
McLean controls it. He fires it on Davenport with a big rebound. Flyers able to clear that one away. Peckham gonna grab it. Plays it to Mackey. Peckham though, Devine intercepts. And there you see Ian. Fairbairn could have gone for that, but he chose to hang back.
Let's play it safe at this point. You're up 3 with 4 minutes left.
Devine, and now almost a breakaway the other way. Kennedy calling for it. Kennedy fighting for the puck. McLean all alone in front, just misses that one. Kennedy now, he curls. Kennedy fires it in front. Chappell now with it. Chappell controls. Makes a move at the line. Now down to Peckham. Peckham fires it back over to Chappell. Peckham. Chappell now with it. Willer now all alone. Willer, and he scores, and that probably does it.
The dagger?
Might be the dagger. And there we see Ian with all 3 Guelph players in the offensive zone. They're going to give up these type of chances.
It's like we talked about. It's the risk versus reward. You got to gamble in this when you get down, and that's the risk of it right there. And I've been surprised to see actually a couple times here in this last couple minutes, Milton's even only had maybe 2 guys back, taking some chances. You see another one coming here.
So the Brewers, who before the tournament with some big names on their roster were seen as the favorites, looking like they're going to exit here in the semifinals. Spivak across to Forfar. Great save there by Snyderman. He's been hung out to dry a few times. Spivak now with it. And Spivak just skating away. Down low, 2-4 far. He's behind the net. Flyers content just to pass it around for the next 2 minutes or so. Mackey now with it. Mackey tries to make a move to the inside. Fairbarn stops it. Beretta watching McLean. Mackey across to Kennedy. Kennedy with a hat trick in the first game. Unable to help his team offensively here. Kennedy makes a move. Turnover, and the Flyers now have a 2-on-1. Devine trying to get it to Beretta. Now Brewers back the other way with the 2-on-1. Kennedy now keeps. Gets it over to McLean.
You can see the legs are gone in both of these teams.
It's definitely seemed to slow down here in the last couple of minutes. McLean tries to beat Davenport short side.
And this goes into what I was saying about it being tough to, manufacture offense when you just try to attack them 3-on-3 in a set even strength situation. But because what you're seeing Milton do is they're just packing 3 guys in right in front of the net.
Peckham almost able to get that one to McLean. So the Flyers, after being down 3-0 in their first game, coming back and having to win in overtime, are going to be moving on to the finals, and the favorite Guelph Brewers out.
Cinderella.
In the semifinals.
Does the shoe fit?
McLean wires one at Davenport. And that's going to do it. The Milton Flyers are off to the finals of the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. The Guelph Brewers out in the semis. An upset here. And Ian, I don't know what's more shocking, that the Brewers lost or that they only scored 1 goal.
Well, I think this was a big bounce back game for Dave Davenport. Guelph maybe didn't manufacture as many chances as I think they would have liked, but Davenport was there to answer every time they did get a good chance. Made some huge saves that kind of swung the momentum back in Milton's favor. And I'll be the first one to admit it. I got to eat a big thing of crow on this one because we didn't really give Milton much of a chance heading into this game, and they kind of dominated from almost start to finish.
Yeah, it wasn't a lucky win, so to speak. They controlled the play, and again, limiting the Brewers to just 1 goal is quite impressive, considering some of the top-end talent they have on that team.
Absolutely. And I think, like I said, I think you start to see some of these teams, as this day progresses, maybe start to realize a little bit that, hey, we've got to maybe get in a little better playing shape, because the legs were gone from some of those guys. Or you at least, within the game, you kind of strategically pick your spots with your shifts, maybe conserve your energy a little better.
We're now going to go down to Pat Gregoire, who's with Tristan Fairbarn.
Fairburn, the captain of the Milton Flyers. That's a big win. You're heading off to the finals. How did it feel, not just that game, the first game as well, to be playing some pro 3-on-3 hockey?
It was good. Tough getting the feet underneath you at the start, obviously, but once you get going, once you get into a little rhythm there, you start to forget about that and just play hockey.
Now, you talked about there was a little bit of a feeling out process. Do you notice that, in that second game, you guys definitely had a lot more flow and a lot more momentum?
Yeah, definitely. You get playing with guys for a few games, and especially at this caliber with the guys, they've played some really good hockey. So guys learn to adjust and learn to know where each other are, and you feed off that. So it's good.
Now, how difficult is it to prepare for a finals here? When you do play those 3 games, but also you don't really know who you're playing until, when this game's over.
I think for the most part, you just got to play your game. You don't worry too much about what the other team's doing. Maybe a little bit of talk here and there in the dressing room at the end, but for the most part, we just go out and play our game. I think we've got a pretty good team, like I said, so just go out and play your game, and hopefully it all works out for us.
All right, perfect, and good luck in the finals.
Thank you very much.
No problem. And now it's off to the guys upstairs, they're going to break it down and decide or talk about who they think might punch their ticket to the semifinal or the finals. Guys?
Thanks, Pat. Now we just saw in that first semifinal a big upset by the Milton Flyers, and for the Brewers, what do you think what didn't they execute in that last semifinal there?
First of all, we got to talk about the Pat Gregoire fan club there. I got to keep those little guys under control. But you know what? If you're the Milton Flyers, a big win for them. I think they maybe didn't get the credit they deserve. They have their own share of professional experience coming into that game. But here we're going to see. I don't think we're going to make that same mistake again of writing off this Kitchener team like we maybe did to Milton. So I think coming into this one, maybe London's the favorite heading in with their big convincing win. But I don't think we want to write anyone off just yet.
So now the second semifinal between the London Threes and the Kitchener Lions. The Threes, as Ian mentioned, very impressive in their first game. They scored 9 goals, beat the Toronto Bees 9-2, and it was this line right here that did most of the damage. Patrick Morgan, Cam Salt, and Charlie Stevens. Rangers scored late to beat the Oshawa 88s, and a wild play there. Cook bats it out of midair, but Wigmore able to make the save. Net comes off, and the Threes gonna start it back up again. In that first game, Charlie Stevens was very impressive. Spent the last 10 years playing in Germany. Rank now with it, gets it over to Gent. Gent scored on a penalty shot in the first game for the Lions. Rank now comes in. Wigmore with a great leg stop. And early on, Kitchener's had the first few chances. Stevens calling for it. Stevens has it. Stevens moves in and wires one. I don't know if Camilleri saw that. Stevens plays it all the way back to Morgan. So the Threes can get a change.
If you're Kitchener, it's got to be a point of emphasis for you to really try and limit the odd man opportunities for that Stevens line, because they showed how deadly they were in that last game, especially when Stevens has the puck. He's a great decision maker.
And there it is, the first goal from the Threes. Little breakdown there by the Lions. And the Threes picking up right where they left off in their first game. Scoring at will.
Well, the passing with this team is great. Just about every guy can skate pretty well on this roster. And so I don't see why. Like, you just see how calm they are with the puck, and it's perfect for this format.
Valeshta now moves into the center, almost able to get another goal to go. Gore plays it up the boards. Scheich there. Scheich angles by Gore. Now a 2-on-0. And what a stop there from Camilleri.
Scheich is hurt too. I don't know if he caught a knee or something when he dangled by there, but he's
so Scheich,
he's feeling it over there.
Injured on the Threes bench. Camilleri with the highlight reel stop. Crane fires it in. And now the line of Salt, Morgans, and Stevens back on. Salt, little breakdown there by the Lions. Salt gets in, tries to stop, and Camilleri again with that left leg. Morgan down to Stevens. Stevens controls. Stevens with a nice little move. He tries to go upstairs. There's some weight to that shot when it hits the boards.
Yeah. And you can see Camilleri, you can probably smell that one go by. I don't know if people actually know that, but sometimes you can smell the rubber if it catches you in the right spot.
Stevens can't get it by Gent. Cook now, Cook. Stevens gets another stick on it, and they're gonna go 3-on-1 the other way. Morgan, Salt, and Stevens. Morgan and Salt. And it just bounces over Salt's stick. And Stevens.
This team just always looks like they're in control.
Especially with their changes. You can see Stevens always plays it back to the goalie.
He's such a common presence out there on the ice.
Scheich fires it down. Beaton intercepts that. Beaton gets it to Rank. Rank watched by Scheich.
And you can tell he's hurt, but he's trying to play through it.
We'll keep an eye on that as Scheich gets it to Beleshta. Beleshta holds. Beleshta, nice move and goes top corner. Gorgeous play there by Beleshta. And it's 2-0 for the Threes.
Gorgeous gloves too, but an outstanding play. And that's another thing when you have so many of these times where, you know, you come in and you make the pass across for the tap in. He uses that to his advantage that time, you know, kind of fakes the pass, goalie freezes, and then goes roof. Not much the goalie can do on that one. For as well as Camilleri's played, he didn't have much of a chance on that.
And now breakaway, almost a breakaway for the Threes. Camilleri controls it. He wires it around the boards to Gore. Gore has it. And now we got a 3-on-1 for the Lions. Rank. The big line for the Threes back on. Morgan, Salt, and Stevens. Wigmore with the stop there. And here they go, Salt and Stevens. Oh, what a move there. It almost works out. Stevens trying to kick it to himself. Ryan trying to get the one-timer in his skates, though unable to get a stick on it. Rank has it at the red line. Hits Stevens in the skates. So the Threes seem to be in control in this one so far. Not many opportunities for the Lions. Beleshta almost away on a breakaway there. Rank fires it up the boards. Cook gets it across. Ryan pokes it free. Ryan has Cook locked in front. And now Morgan away with it. Morgan curls back. And I think Scheich is taking a break to see Morgan with this. Beleshta this time around. Kitchener back. Cook all alone at the end. Can't get a pass to him though. And now 2-on-1 for the Threes back away. Beleshta almost on a breakaway.
Yeah, I think London's going to be down to 5 guys for the time being. You could even tell he just tried to get up and hop the boards and couldn't even do it.
Stevens has it. Stevens tries to get it in front. So something to keep an eye on there. The Threes now, as you mentioned, in the first game, they're one of the only teams going with 6 guys. Now they're down to 5 if this injury to Scheich is serious. Camilleri.
Well, that's the one thing. It's not like they're necessarily buzzing up and down anyways. They're a pretty good puck possession team, so from what we've seen so far anyway. So I feel like if anyone can handle the limited bodies, it's them. You just got to be smart.
And Gent almost puts the Lions on the board for the first time in this semifinal. Cook now. Cook wires one. Wigmore with the stop. And now Salt and Stevens are away on a 2-on-1. None. Stevens. And he scores. Great hesitation, and he's able to sneak it through the 5-hole. And it's 3-0 for the Threes.
And does it with a smile, and that is a nasty move. That little hesitation just crosses up Camilleri, and he pots it home. That is a veteran move, ladies and gentlemen.
And right away, Rank.
The great one.
Looking like Gretzky with that shot there. And he gets a much-needed goal for his Lions team. It's back to a 2-goal game.
Yeah, that's Wigmore just kind of, I think he even looked a little surprised on that one.
And Stevens now has it again in another shot just wide. Rank back the other way. Wires one wide, just out of the reach of Stevens. Otherwise, he could have been on another breakaway. Scheich still not moving from the bench. Gore trying to play, gets it up to Rank. Rank gets it in. Wigmore gets across to make a nice stop. Ryan calling for it at the blue line. Ryan wires one and Morgan almost able to spring. London player for the breakaway. 2-on-1, Salt on the far side. Camilleri with a nice off. Salt tried to bat it out of midair. 3-on-1 for the Lions. Rank has it. Tries to get over Ryan, and Ryan scores. So now 3-2. Lions getting back into this one.
Right back here in a 1-goal game. And a good answer by the Kitchener Lions here. A little tic-tac-toe, and maybe, just maybe, that going down to 5 guys is starting to wear on London a little bit.
And here they go at 2-on-0. Ryan with it, and he scores. Just like that, it's 3-3. The Lions erase a 3-goal deficit.
That's a nasty snapshot. Don't blink in 3-on-3 hockey, ladies and gentlemen.
So, and now after the 3rd goal's in, Shike's up on the London bench, maybe seeing if he can go, trying to cut down some of that ice for his team, because they only have 5 guys right now. And it bounces over to the stick of Stevens, and now Cook's away. Cook trying to get it past Stevens. Cook. London now with a 2-on-1. Camilleri square fires it wide. Valeshta able to keep it, and Stevens now playing defense, it looks like, for the time being. Jumps up into the play here, Stevens. Nice move at the line, keeps it. Puts the brakes on, trying to find Salt, and a big hit there by Rank. Valeshta makes a move, and Rank gets in his way again as well. Lions diving all over the ice.
And you tell there's money on the line.
Salt with it, makes a nice Cook with a nice stick. And Ryan, who's got 2 goals in this game, calling for it.
Shike's back out there.
Cook. And let's see what Shike can do. Salt and Morgan now on a 2-on-1. Salt puts the brakes on, toe drag, and fires it. Camilleri somehow keeps that one out. Great move by Salt, better save by Camilleri. And Shike, injury and all, out there. Rank plays it. Rank jams it up against the boards. Ryan has it. Back to Crane. Ryan gets it back.
It's becoming really obvious late in these games that the legs are starting to go for these guys a little bit. So they're trying to let their passing do the work.
Just 7.5 minutes left in semifinal number 2. The winner will meet the Milton Flyers in the finals. Morgan crawls in. Commotion at the side of the net. Net comes loose. So after going up 3-0, the Threes find themselves in a tie game. And we talked about this, in our first semifinal, the Brewers, they were upset, and same thing might happen here to the Threes. Stevens can't get it through that crowd, and the ref blows it dead. Net off, I think, once again. And Ian, this Kitchener team, we mentioned it, not a lot of big names, but hanging in here with a team that does have some big names.
Yeah, you know what? We might have an all-underdog final here, but I think Camilleri's been a big key to their success. He's been pretty solid all day long, making some huge saves. And it looked like they were out of this game for a while, and then, because of the nature of this game, all it just takes is a couple quick chances, and boom, you're right back in it.
Camilleri with another great stop there. Stevens just out of his reach, controls it on the half boards.
Which is tough to do because he's got a pretty big reach on him.
Stevens parked in front, gets it back. Threes going with a cycle here.
You can tell Kitchener's keeping a close eye on Stevens here.
Stevens Plays it to the board. Salt able to get there just coming off the bench. Stevens gets the puck back, and he's got it in the top of the slot and wires one, and Salt able to jump on the rebound. What a shot from Stevens that creates a rebound, and Cam Salt has put his team in front.
Pipe City for Mr. Stevens, but Salt, just Johnny on the spot there, really.
Jumps all over that rebound. So the three's now up 4-3.
Let's see if Kitchener can get a quick answer again.
And Scheich back out there. He runs into Camilleri. Rank has it now, Rank. Rank makes a move, crashes to the net. Rank able to almost squeeze it by Wigmore. Rank gets it back, 2-on-0. He's got Ryan, and Ryan scores. Hat trick for him, and he ties this one back up. Lions won't go away.
Yet again, Kitchener is a quick strike team off the turnovers. We've seen them do this now twice late in this game. Every time London seems to pull away, Kitchener comes right back with a good chance. And to be, London's kind of doing it to themselves though a little bit. I think if they were just a little cleaner on the breakouts a couple of these times, they'd be okay.
And Stevens wires a slap shot from the slot. Kitchener now with a 2-on-0 the other way. Ryan kind of, and he
Nice
scores.
shot.
Fourth goal of the game. What a goal. Stevens with a slap shot on the other end. It leads to a
And he falls right
2-on-0.
over the bench.
Goes right upstairs, beats Wigmore on the glove side.
Absolute shelf.
So 5-4.
And then Tyler Ryan was so tired.
5-4 here.
Wow.
Make that 6-4 Rank. And we're on the verge of seeing another upset here in the semifinals.
Yeah, this Kitchener team, you know, Wigmore has made some big saves, but Kitchener is really making the most of their chances when it looked like London was really dominating for most of the game.
When Scheich went out with that injury, it did give a lot more players on the threes.
It definitely hurt London.
Baleshta with it. Baleshta makes a move, and he fires it wide. So now we'll see if Kitchener tightens things up now that they have a 2-goal lead. Gent fires one. Baleshta now with it. He's with Morgan. And Morgan able to slide that one in. 6-5 now. Net came off there. Morgan able to get that one to go. He's been quiet in this game up until then.
Yeah, and London's saying, you know, hurry things up, the clock's running here.
Morgan feeds one into Salt. Salt gets it. Nice stop there by Camilleri. Big rebound though. Scheich can't control it. Morgan chips it in. High stick. Lions touch it. Morgan with it now. Scheich can't get it, and stick breaks.
And he's you can see.
And now there's going to be a breakaway. Stevens able to get on in time, and Rank fires it. Wigmore didn't know where that one was. Let's see if Charlie Stevens can pull his team even. Now it's Salt, Stevens, and Morgan together again. What a pass. Camilleri, though, right there. And now a 2-on-1 for the Lions the other way. Rank to Cook. Cook knocks the net off. So this is going to run some time here off the clock. Stevens, and they're going all out, and here we go. Salt on a breakaway. Camilleri with a huge stop to keep his team in front. Great save there from the goalie. And London has pulled Wigmore. So it's going to be 4-on-3 for the next 50 seconds or less. Stevens to Baleshta. Baleshta Morgan fans on the one-timer. Morgan gets it out to Baleshta. Stevens with it back. Baleshta fires it. Nice block there from Cook. 33 seconds now. Salt to Morgan. Morgan. Baleshta across to Salt, and he
What a pass.
scores. What pass, what a pass by Baleshta. And Salt evens it. It's 6-6 with 22 seconds left.
That feed by Baleshta to get that through the middle. Finds Salt on the back door, and then a big time finish. But it looks like we might be ready for overtime here.
So the threes, Lions want to call, and here we go. Baleshta gets it to Salt, and Salt's got the game on his stick. Can he finish it? Just wide. So we are going to have overtime here in the second semifinal. Cam Salt with the equalizer and had a chance to win it for his team, but Camilleri turned him away.
Stands tall. And what a 30 seconds that would have been for Salt if he was able to finish that off. Equalizes there. London scores with the goal he pulled, executes it to perfection. And it's already dangerous enough out there, 3-on-3. When they get the fourth guy out there, you're just kind of waiting for it. And, you know, Kitchener did the right thing. They kind of just sat back in the triangle. And you can tell the guys are just so gassed. They're just trying to have active sticks. You know, feet aren't exactly moving too quick out there right now.
It'll be interesting to see with another, you know, with the extra time here in overtime, how long this goes, if it affects the team who comes out on top in the finals.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Here we go. Charlie Stevens with it, and he can end it with one shot. Stevens across, almost gets it to go. Ryan, he's had a big game for the Lions. He has 4 goals, almost sent away on a breakaway.
I've got to think, if you look at both these teams right now, if you look into the finals, it's got to be advantage Milton.
After this overtime period, yeah.
Purely based on the legs alone.
Baleshta drops it for Stevens. Stevens controls it, tries to go short side, hits the post. Baleshta gets it back. He looks like, and Stevens almost gets a stick on it. Camilleri knocks the net off. Baleshta. Gent with a nice play there. And here's Salt. Salt finds it, and McCormick scores! And the threes are off to the finals.
What a game.
They tie it with less than 30 seconds left, score in overtime, and they are off to the finals.
And that's a group of guys that are $2,000 richer right there. And Salt, who's been a real, I don't know if you want to say unsung, but with a beauty feed there. And London finishes it off. What a game of runs that was, back and forth. Both teams heating up at the right time when they needed it. And London ultimately comes out on top with basically 5 guys.
Yeah, Shaq was hurt for most of that, at least for the first half of the game. He toughed it out in the second, but the London threes able to overcome that and take it 7-6 in OT. And they are off to the finals to take on the Milton Flyers. So we thought we were gonna see another upset, but the threes impressive in their first game, able to hang on in this one. Cam Salt scores the tying goal on the other end of the winning goal.
One of the most impressive parts of that little comeback to me was the feed on the tying goal to find him on the back door. The finish was big, but that was a very impressive little run by London there.
We'll see if the overtime period does affect London in the next game, because as you said, you know, Milton didn't have to play that extra game, so we will see what happens there. But the London threes off to the finals. Looking ahead to the finals, Ian, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, I think if London can, you know, quickly get some orange slices or whatever the cliche they're going to do, get some Gatorades in them to get ready for the finals there. I still like London. I think the talent on their team is top end. But how many times are you going to underestimate this Milton team is the real question.
We're now going to go down to Pat, who's with Charlie Stevens. Pat?
Thanks, guys. Here with Charlie Stevens of the London Threes. We were just talking, you know, we'll let you go. You got to get ready for that finals. But you guys are down 1 player And it seems like so far the story has been, a lot of people have been surprised with how successful you guys been, not just, without that one extra player. How has it been today playing in the first 3-on-3 pro league?
Yeah, it's tough, physically demanding. We had the minimum guys, and first or second shift we were down a guy to Charlie horse, so it was a tough one for sure. Maybe we'll add a guy or two next tournament, but it was a great game. Fans are getting a lot bang for their buck, right? It's an exciting tournament, tons of goals, and yeah, we look forward to the future.
Now, you guys got a little bit of a scare there. It looked like you maybe did run out a little bit of gas there, but you guys found a way. Going forward in this finals, are you guys going to change your game plan a little bit because you guys are, like I said so many times, one guy short?
Yeah, we're going to have to change it up strategy-wise here, maybe increase the puck possession on our behalf. I think the first game we had it maybe 80-20, and that game was more like 60-40 for them. So we're going to have to hang on to the puck a little bit more to give ourselves a chance to get some more gas in the tank.
All right, Charlie, I'll let you catch your breath and get ready for the finals. Good luck, and we'll see you after. All right, guys, we'll send it back to you up top. We know who is in the finals. It's the London Threes taking on the Milton Flyers. We'll go up to you guys.
Thanks, Pat. Now, we just saw the London Threes complete that comeback win. Looking ahead to the finals, what do you expect from this matchup between the Milton Flyers and the London Threes?
Well, I think if you're Milton, you know that London's tired heading into the game. I mean, I'm sure Milton's tired too, but they had that little extra break. I think if you're Milton, you got to try and jump all over London early and try to pull away. But you heard Steven say it there. London's going to try and control the puck here, because otherwise, if they're running around chasing, it's not going to go well for them. They just need to try and get their legs. But if London can get healthy here and get those two full lines back, the Morgan and Stevens line, you got to look for them to be a big factor. Morgan, Stevens, and Salt, I think that's a big line for them. They've been dominant this entire day, so I think that's a big factor. But at the same time, this Milton team, we've underestimated them all day, and I think they've got a lot of pro talent as well. Something that we obviously haven't gotten into that much today, but they're a team that I think kind of snuck under the radar a little bit, put together secretly a little good team, and we'll see what they bring for the finals here.
Now let's take a look now at some of the highlights from the London Threes victory in the semifinals. They are off to the finals to take on the Milton Flyers. And it looked like early on, Ian, it was going to be the same old story with the London Threes, winning another game by a large margin.
Yeah, and they make it look easy. We talked about it early about how their puck possession's so great, and they're so calm with the puck. And Charlie Stevens is such a weapon for them out there. But Kitchener just got hot quick, and they got down a little bit, and then just bang, bang, bang. They were right back even. Then they even pulled ahead. And it was all thanks to Mr. Ryan there. He had 4 goals, I think, in that game he finished with. He was outstanding. So but there's not really much more you can say about this team, about how just resilient they are. I think their best asset in that game was their ability to score right after London scored. And they did it in the first game, too. Right after Oshawa scored, they came back right away. And that's one thing you can't let your guard down. You can't admire your goals in this format.
Here's the OT winner. Salt setting up McCormick. And as you said, it's a $2,000 goal.
Yeah, and that's just a London team that's very resilient, and their talent kind of shone through at the end there.
And here's the look at the brackets. The London Threes advance to take on the Milton Flyers in the first ever 3HL New Year's Day Classic. 3K on the line. So, at the beginning of the day, we talked about players to watch, Theo Peckham and Charlie Stevens for the London Threes. Looking at Charlie Stevens' game, what makes him such a game breaker, especially in this league?
I think it's simply his presence alone with the puck. Obviously, he's super talented, and he can basically do whatever he wants with it. But I think it's his calmness. He's always thinking with the puck. He always seems to be one step ahead. Calm, comes in slow, and then he has all kinds of hesitation moves. I think that's been what's impressed us the most. Not only with the defensemen, but with the goalies. He just does something to make you freeze, and then he fires it over. Always seems to make the right decision with the puck. And we've even seen him let go some booming shots on top of that. So he's kind of the complete package and that ultimate veteran that I think you can really take advantage of if you're London out there.
Well, coming up, we have the finals of the 3HL New Year's Day Classic between the London Threes and the Milton Flyers. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Mattamy Athletic Center. We have the finals of the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. Dalton Finkbeiner here with Ian Duffy. Pat Gregoire in between the benches. So Ian, we have the London Threes versus the Milton Flyers. The Threes just played, went to overtime, and they only really have 5 healthy players. How big of a factor is that going to be in this game?
Well, I think the sponsor, Muscle Milk's really going to have to step up and save these London Threes, because I think that's their best chance right now. But I think it ultimately comes back to, can they get the 6th guy out there? Because if they're down to 5, it's going to be tough, especially Milton's probably going to come out buzzing off the get-go. I love London's talent. It's just a matter of, like you heard Charlie Stevens say, I think we're going to need to pick up another couple bodies for next weekend, because it is tough. And you heard a couple guys say it throughout the day, you know, some of them aren't exactly in the prime of their careers right now, so they're not in the best shape they've ever been in. And even still, they said, you know, it's not necessarily that as much as it's hard to prepare for 3-on-3 shape. It's not the same as going out playing 5-on-5 and playing a 1-to-3 shift. When you're out there every second time and you're playing 3-on-3 hockey, it's a completely different type of shape. So I think guys have to pick up on that a little bit. But Milton, I think the most impressive thing about them, Davenport really stepped up his game. But this is a team that I think throughout the day, I think we can agree, they've kind of got it done by committee. Whereas London, I think, is kind of leaning on that one line pretty heavily. And we'll see if they can get it done.
Yeah, well, the Milton Flyers, as we said all day, we kind of underestimated them, especially in the early going. Maybe didn't give them the attention, and Davenport is the key. He might be the most decorated goalie in this league, so to have him back there gives the Flyers a bit of an advantage to go with the fact that London only has 5 healthy players. So here we go, the finals of the first ever 3HL event, the New Year's Day Classic, the London Threes taking on the Milton Flyers. Charlie Stevens has certainly been one of the more impressive players today.
Oh, I think hands down, he's we talked about him at the pregame, which was hours ago at this point, but he's absolutely lived up to the billing and more.
Forfar wires that wide. This line of Salt, Morgan, and Stevens, when together, has been very effective. But as we said, with Sheck's injury, who knows if how much they'll be able to get on the ice together.
I mean, he's up and standing over. Like, he looks like he's gonna at least try and play a regular shift, but we'll see as the game goes on.
Salt with a big tying goal in the semifinal, assisted on the OT winner. Interesting to see how short the Threes keep these shifts, especially being down a man.
And Milton has 7 guys to begin with, so those extra, maybe 1.5 bodies, we'll call it for now, can make a big difference.
Milton with a big win over the Guelph Brewers, who were perceived as the favorites coming into this tournament, with big names like Theo Peckham and Brett McLean, but they were able to beat them 5-1 and held them to just a goal.
Yeah, Davenport was a big reason for that, but I also think it's, when you watch this Milton team, they seem to be pretty deep. It seems like every guy on their roster is pretty solid, so they don't really have much of a drop-off line to line.
Salt comes in. Why did it pull? Almost able to get that tip to go, and now Willer on a breakaway. Wigmore out. Willer now. High. Wigmore able to make that stop. Wigmore tested early here. And the Threes.
He's going to have to be big for them in this game if they're going to come home with that extra bit of coinage.
Oh, yeah. Especially with the injury. Baleshta almost got there. There's Sheck. Seems fine now. He's got Stevens on the far side. Sheck mishandles it. Unable to get the pass over to Stevens. The Divine sprung on a breakaway. Baleshta, though, on him. Divine can't finish it off and runs hard into the net. Wigmore, he's slow to get up.
I think he's okay. I think the net just kind of caught him on the back. I thought Divine might be more hurt than him because he went straight into the post.
His arm didn't look good there, but both players seem to be fine. Wigmore seems to shake it off. Stevens, Salt, and Morgan back on the ice again. Forfar in the corner. Forfar makes a move, gets out in front, tries to slip it to Devine. Stevens there calmly settles things down. Him, Salt, and Morgan are away. Stevens gets it poked away there by Messier. He hits the ice. Poretta to Spivak. Spivak trying to get it back to Poretta. Wigmore able to get the glove on it. Messier fakes a slap shot. Nice stick there from Morgan. Forfar looked like he had Poretta would have had a tap-in goal. 2-on-1. Stevens calmly keeps it. Salt now with it. Gets it back to Stevens.
You can see how much of a difference it makes when you get kind of up around the blue line there and you don't have to worry about holding it in. You can just take that extra bit of time and space you need to make the right play. And you could still see some guys when they do circle back and get towards the blue line, they kind of hesitate thinking, I guess I got to keep this in, but then realize, no, I don't.
You can see early on the Threes want to play a controlling game where it seems the Flyers want to play a more run and gun with that break. And there's a trip from Wigmore. Wigmore doesn't like that one. Messier and Fairbarn also came together. So we're going to have a penalty shot.
Well, the beauty thing is if you're the goalie, it's up to you to bail yourself out.
Messier can't get a shot off. Baleshta caught him there. Saw Baleshta make a pass on the tying goal to Cam Salt. Stevens now with it. Stevens tries to go high. So it does appear that the Threes are going to have all 6 of their players. But having just played and with the overtime, we'll see if it still affects them as the game goes on. Stevens throws one towards the net. Davenport turns that one aside. Salt has it now. Salt keeps, just misses.
We haven't seen any slap shot goals in a while.
No, that was a big theme early on. Yeah. As you said, when guys have the space, they're not afraid to let it fly.
Yep.
Salt carries it in.
And you know what? Maybe that's a credit to the defense. I think maybe these teams have started to realize that, you know, if you give guys that time and space, they're just going to take it and shoot every time.
Spivak and Willer are 2-on-1 for Milton. Gets caught in Wigmore's blocker, but he's able to keep that out of the net.
See, a lot of people are of the mindset that defensively you would rather make a team make the extra pass, make them make the extra play. So by forcing them, you put the onus on them to make the perfect play instead of if you just don't do anything and just give them the shot, you're not doing it, you're making it easy for them. The more passes you make them make, the more likely they are to mess it up.
So far, it's been all defense here in this final. No goals yet. Baleshta with it. Baleshta makes a nice little move, almost able to finish it off. He's back with it. Baleshta now gets it. Spivak got a stick on that, and that one's into the netting.
I think if you're Milton, I think you got to get back to really trying to push the tempo here in this game. Use that extra body to your advantage and the time off that you had.
There we go. It's another 2-on-1 for the Flyers. Aaron pass there by Devine. Forfar, though, keeps it. Forfar fires. McCormick now. Baleshta's all alone. Just bounces over his stick, and you can see him shaking his head. He knows what a big opportunity that he just missed. Scheich back with it. To McCormick. McCormick scored the OT winner in the semifinal. Can't get that move to get past Tristan Fairbarn, the captain of the Milton Flyers. Messier with Poretta. He cannot finish off the 2-on-1. And now Cam Salt's gonna get a breakaway.
Gambled.
Salt now in alone. Salton, what a stop there from Davenport. things opening up here now. Messier works the switch with Peretta. Stevens tries to get a stick on it. Messier, Wigmore there with the pad save. 0-0 here in the finals. Willer keeps, Peretta misses a wide open net. Peretta.
Those moorings are worn right down by now. That net's coming off almost every time.
Peretta had an open net, couldn't get it to go, so still scoreless. Devine trying to get it to Willer. Bouncing puck in front, scramble. Spivak has it. He fires one. Willer.
Oh,
what a play there by Wigmore to get his stick on that. Otherwise, that was going in the back of the net.
And even for a 3-on-3 game right now, it looks like goals are going to be at a premium in this one.
Spivak can't beat Wigmore. Oh, and a glove save for Wigmore. Devine can't believe it. What a stop by the London Threes goaltender. Robs Devine. And that got the crowd going.
And that's a potential game saver right there.
That's the play of the day.
Oh, absolutely.
Point blank in here. Let's see if Devine can get it back. He's with Willer. And Wigmore again gets across. We talked about him, the role he had to play with this tired London Threes team, and he's doing it right now. Boleshta now in alone. Boleshta, and he scores a beauty. What a play by Lucas Boleshta.
And that goal is big because you see he just kind of waits out Davenport here and then just drops it back the way he came. But that goal is huge for London in the sense that, you know, there's still 10 minutes left, so obviously they're not going to completely sit back, but they don't have to waste as much of their energy in attack mode.
We'll see if the Threes do tighten this up. Boleshta now to Scheik. He dangles in. Can't squeeze it past Davenport.
And how big does that save by Wigmore look now?
Huge. He's been the best player. You said that. He had to be their best player, and he has been so far. And to think that Salt, Stevens, and Morgan haven't even scored yet, you'd think you can count on one from one of those three guys.
Yep.
Here is Charlie Stevens, makes a nice little move to get by the defender. Stevens wires one. Davenport, though, makes the save. Forfar calling for it. Wigmore out of his crease.
And you could see as soon as Stevens made that original move, all the other Milton guys yelling, don't leave him alone, just go to him, even if you have to leave someone else open.
Stevens gets it over to Salt. He just misfires. You don't want to see those two guys on a 2-on-1. Salt gives it to Stevens. Stevens fires it up to Morgan. Morgan now tries to go far side. Spivak gets a stick on it. 8:40 left here in the third period. London Threes up 1-0 in the final of the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. Salt gets his pocket picked. It's Willer and Peretta. Peretta makes a move, gives it to Willer, and Wigmore inches away from making another highlight reel save, but Willer able to sneak it past him and even this thing up at 1.
And it was a good play by Boleshta to just kind of hang on there for a while. Or sorry, was that Salt? But either way, whoever was there made a nice little play to try and prolong that, let their help get back.
And Salt on the other end almost answers right back. Davenport up to the task. Both these goalies have been stellar so far here in this final.
I'm not going to lie, on that goal, it probably sounded like we were cheering for London, but I think we just wanted the highlight reel save.
Yeah, it was inches away from being another crazy save by Wigmore. Spivak now gets in alone. Spivak, and he slips it by Wigmore. So now the Flyers up 2-1.
Just good patience here, and he just slides it 5-hole. looking like he's going to try and go far side, but just slips it back in. And now this changes the mindset for London. You got to kind of, flip the switch a little bit and dig deep for that energy because you got to go in attack mode now.
Forfar in with Fairbarn. Forfar holds up, tries to sneak one past Scheich, blocks it. Forfar again, fans on it. Fairbarn almost able to tap that one in.
And if you're Milton now, under 7 to play, there's no excuse for anyone getting behind you.
Boleshta. Oh, and here comes, there's gonna be a penalty to Milton. Scheich fires it on net.
It was a pretty blatant hook right in front of the ref. You kind of had to call that.
So Boleshta's gonna get a penalty shot.
Messier's not happy about it. He just gave the ref a solid piece of his mind.
Let's see if he can get it. Chasers. Boleshta in. And what a save by Davenport to keep his team ahead.
A veteran move by Stevens there on
Little
that.
pick play.
Yeah, instead of trying to just follow up for a rebound, he just kind of tried to rub out the Milton Chasers.
Forfar dangles his way in. Peretta on the far side. Looks and almost gets it back. Nice stick there by Scheich. Gets it over to Stevens. Stevens, nice move to get around the defender. Stevens in now. And he fires it. Davenport with a glove now. And he quickly plays it to Willer, who is inches away from having a breakaway. Sets up shot behind the net. Curls out. Tries to go high. Can't get it to go. Fairbarn now with it. Willer, poke checked away by Salt. Salt and Morgan away. Willer, though, gets back, make it a 2-on-2. And it's fired all the way down into the London zone. Wigmore trying to catch them on a change, and Salt just at a bad angle to the side of the net. Morgan gets in, and what a, no goal! No goal, Davenport equaling Wigmore with a highlight reel save of his own.
Anything you can do, I can do better mentality.
And Messier wires one home. What action here. Big save on one end. And the Flyers go the other and make the threes pay.
This is an absolute cannon. No one is saving that. And that's always how it works, though, isn't it, in hockey? Every time it seems a goalie makes a big save, the other team goes down and scores.
McCormick can't squeak that one past Davenport. Just over 4 minutes left. 3-1 for the Milton Flyers here in the finals of the New Year's Day Classic.
And you can tell London's really got to press now.
Messier back to Spivak. Devine lost his stick. Giveaway, though. McCormick now with it. He makes a move. Trying to get free of Spivak. Boleshta. Devine with the steal, and he just chips it down, trying to get a change. The big guns coming out for the London threes. They need a goal quick here. Stevens with it. Stevens brings it up the ice. See if he can get his team on the board. Stevens, low shot, gonna go the other way now. Forfar races for it. Makes a move around Boleshta and throws it on net. Wigmore with a nice stop. Wigmore chips it ahead. Stevens just out of his reach. So now the big line for the threes. Morgan, Salt, and Stevens all on the ice together. Stevens curls it in to the middle of the ice. Salt now with it. Bouncing puck, gets it to Stevens. He makes a nice move. Looking for a hook, no call. No call, London bench upset about that one. Now Peretta the other way with Spivak with him. Peretta to Spivak, nice play. What a block there by Morgan to keep this a 2-goal game.
You can see how tired the London players are. Stevens just took Salt and tried to push him along to get him to keep going.
Charlie Stevens mentioned With only 6 guys, they are quite tired. Willer now in. Approaching 2 minutes left. The Milton Flyers with a 3-1 lead over the London Threes in the first ever 3HL event. Willer get across, interception to Salt. Stevens can't go.
He just says, no, you're on your own.
Salt by himself. And you can really tell the fatigue setting in for the Threes. Both teams.
And
here it is, trying to put the icing on the cake.
I will say Wigmore's done a good job of coming out and playing the puck every time, you know, trying to take just a couple miles off those guys' skates so they don't have to come back every time.
Jesse Messier with another one, and that could be it. The Flyers now up 4-1. And they look like they're on their way to winning the first ever 3HL Tour event, the New Year's Day Classic. London's gonna give it a go, though. They're pulling Wigmore. Forfar, though, misses the empty net. The Threes need 3 goals in under a minute to send this one to overtime. See how quickly they can do it. Salt tries to beat Davenport on the short side, can't do it. Baleshta battling with it for the boards. Stevens got it at the point. Blocked there. So just under 30 seconds now. Stevens tries to make a move, can't get it past the sprawling Flyers, and Cam Salt misses the open net, and that should do it.
You can see the guys even laughing it up down there. They're having a good time, but London just has nothing left to give.
So stop time here, but now they're gonna let it run. So the Milton Flyers are going to win the championship round of the 3HL's New Year's Day Classic. They are your first winners of a 3HL Tour event, and that's a happy group of guys. $3,000 for that game right there. And Ian, we kind of anticipated the Threes being tired, but this Flyers team was very, very impressive.
Yeah, they were, and you know what? It's actually incredible when you think about it. You got to tip your cap to Dave Davenport and Milton's team defense in general, twice today only allowing 1 goal, which if coming into this event you said a team was going to do that, you would have said absolutely no. No way is anyone going to be able to pull that off. But Milton did it twice. Just a tip of the cap to them, and then just all around solid game. Didn't blow anyone out. Just played solid the whole way through, and fairly easily beat the two, what we thought were the 2 best teams coming into this.
No, definitely very impressive. They were down 3-0 in their opening round game to the Markham Millionaires, and somehow were able to come back. So they are the winners of the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. Impressive showing for the London Threes, though. They get a few more guys. That might help to deal with some of the fatigue they were feeling when they went down with an injury.
Yeah, you got to give London credit. They battled for a while. They did get up 1-0.
Yeah.
And then, that huge save by Wigmore, but then, you know, the dam just kind of broke after a while, and there's only so much they could do.
So there they are, Milton Flyers receiving $7,000 for their 3 victories here today.
Fans, thank you again for joining us today at the Hathaway Center for the very first event in the new era of pro hockey.
A very impressive performance, but we will say our next 3HL event, I don't think these guys will be the underdogs anymore. They won't be able to just, you know, fly under the radar.
No, I think they'll most certainly be the favorites heading into next week. And as you said, Ian, they're a very deep team. You know, some of the Threes have the 3 big guys of Salt, Stevens, and Morgan, but these guys have, you know, a bunch of guys who, not just one guy who can kind of do it.
Yeah, they're very balanced throughout their roster, and I think that really helped them throughout the day, as well as having those 7 skaters. One of the craziest things about this, too, is that they barely got through their first game. So maybe, you know, we didn't really get to see much of that Markham team today, but maybe we see them they had Milton in the first game.
Yeah.
So we'll see heading in. I think every event, as we go along here, we're not really sure what we're going to see, and I think rosters are going to change. You're going to see bodies added, because I think the guys found out today just how tough it is to go through a full day of games, even though they're only 20-minute games. But you're out there on the ice so much, and to cover so much ice, it's tough with just having that few guys. So we're going to see maybe a couple more bodies added to some of these teams next weekend.
And as you said, Ian, impressive that they were able to limit teams to 2 teams to 1 goal.
Yeah.
In this 3-on-3 format, we did not expect to see these kind of games, but the Flyers figured something out and were able to lock the 2 most explosive teams, or what we thought were the most explosive teams,
Yeah.
the London Threes and the Guelph Brewers, down, and able to get the first ever victory in a 3HL Tour event.
An outstanding effort by the Milton Flyers today. And I think we have maybe their unsung hero, their MVP is standing by with Pat Gregoire.
Thanks, guys. Yes, here with Dave Davenport, the goalie for the Milton Flyers. Now, Dave, obviously 3-on-3 hockey, everyone talks about the players, the speed, but some of the goaltenders, including yourself today, showed that 3-on-3 hockey can be entertaining from a goalie's perspective as well.
Yeah, that first game there was pretty challenging to get into it there, but it was a good warm-up game for us there, and it's just constant pace, just back and forth. I don't have the best of it. You got to have good endurance though. But as we went on, I felt a little better in there.
You talk about the endurance. I know a lot of the players said they were getting tired as the game went on, because you're playing 60 minutes, whether it be shifts on and off. You're in the cage the entire time. You said you started to feel better as the games get on. How is your endurance out there though?
It could be better right now, so I'll have to work on that as the year goes on. But those had some Red Bulls before the game, and so I'll also have to load up on some more.
Muscle Milk, remember,
yeah,
they're the
Muscle
sponsor.
Milk. Muscle Milk, that's right, yeah.
Now we have one tournament in the books. We've got London coming up next week. How cool was it to be a part, not just to win the tournament here at the 3HL New Year's Day Classic, but just to be a part of something new that has never happened before?
Yeah, I've never been a part of something like this before, and also just to be the first game out there, to be the first winner, that's pretty special.
All right, perfect, Dave. We'll see you in London. Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Dave Davenport, the winning goaltender for the Milton Flyers. Guys, we'll send it back up to you. You can send everyone home.
Thanks, Pat. No, so Ian, coming into today, we didn't really know what to expect with this 3-on-3 format. We saw in a couple of the earlier games teams feeling out the format. What were your overall thoughts from today's events?
Well, it's good too. You heard the players all day. They even admitted it. They weren't really sure what to expect coming into it. And I think it was evident, in the first game, even the first couple shifts of just about every game. But you saw as the guys adjusted, they, tightened things up a little bit on defense, not maybe as much chasing, which also helps your defense, but also helps your legs. So I think guys learned to maybe conserve their energy a little bit. But you also saw some of the top-end talent. The amount of posts hit today was insane. So all in all, I think it was a good day, and I think you're going to continue to see this develop and kind of evolve as we go through the different weekends. But I think a great first day for this league, and some very impressive play, and especially from those Milton Flyers, well-deserved for those guys. But I can't wait to see what happens as we keep going, and as guys kind of figure out little tricks of the trade as we move through this, because realistically, most guys don't have that much 3-on-3 experience, even the NHL guys that are in this league. So it's a feeling out process for everyone. I think that was evident today, but it definitely picked up as the day went on.
Let's take a look now at some of the highlights from the championship game. Milton Flyers coming out on top, defeating the London Threes. And that was the save there by Wigmore. He played very well for the Threes.
Probably the save of the day, and then you thought maybe right after that, London goes down and scores, and you thought maybe it's their day. And then just, as you said, inches away from making the highlight reel again. But Milton was one of those teams that, just don't let them hang around. And then Davenport, a highlight reel save of his own. And that was kind of the dagger right there. That Messier shot, and then you can see some big smiles on the faces of those guys, because they go home today with a little bit more money in their pockets. But
here's a look at the bracket. The Milton Flyers taking home $7,000 for their 3 wins today. The Threes go home with $4,000 of their own. A great day here at the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. Flyers limiting 2 teams to 1 goal, which we did not think we would see in this format. Very impressive from them. And we're taking a look now here at the next event. The 3HL is going to London, and you can take a look at those first round games. The Milton Flyers will be taking on the Toronto Bees, looking to be the first team to ever win 2 in a row. And you see the London Threes taking on the Oshawa 88s.
We know Oshawa is going to have a couple more players in their lineup next week, so that's going to be a good challenge for Milton right out of the gates. And then I'm interested to kind of see that Guelph game, Guelph-Markham game, because, you know, Guelph was a heavy favorite coming in today, or at least in our minds it was, just because of their roster. But Markham had, they played Milton the closest of anyone. They had them right on the ropes in the first game of the day. So we'll get to see a little bit more of them next week, as well as a couple other teams. So that's going to be a good challenge for Guelph right out of the gates. That should be a pretty good game.
It was a great day here at the Mattamy Athletic Center. That is it for the 3HL New Year's Day Classic. For Ian Duffy, I'm Dalton Finkbeiner. Thank you to Pat Gregoire. Thank you to everyone in the control room and everyone on the cameras for making us look good. Have a great night and enjoy 2017.